What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN. You know, guys, I know a lot of you want to watch the Formula One races. You want to watch it live. That can be difficult in America. One of the best ways to do that is to use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN lets you catch every race easily. You get set up in under 10 minutes and enjoy HD streams throttle free. Here's how it works. If you don't have a US cable subscription, ESPN2 is a great way to tune in. Get ExpressVPN and then connect to a server location in the US, visit YouTube TV or PlayStation View, and use the free trial. It's that easy. For those of you in the UK, you can catch every race on Sky Sports F1. Get ExpressVPN, connect to a UK server, and visit Sky Sports on Now TV. ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch all the games from any device. And even when I'm not watching Formula One, I've got ExpressVPN on 24/7 because it also encrypts all my data, keeping it safer from hackers. Enjoy the remaining races this season in HD with the world's most trusted VPN, ExpressVPN. Use the special link today to get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/smokingtire. That's expressvpn.com/smokingtire. 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/smokingtire. And of course, we are brought to you today by the Thinkware Dashcam range. Their best and latest dashcam, the U1000, is now available. It's able to capture clear and crisp videos of your drive. The U1000 is the very first 2-channel dashcam in the world to boast a native 4K UHD front and a 2K QHD rear resolution. In addition to its amazing video quality, the U1000 can save you money with its speed and red light camera alerts, or make you a safer driver with lane departure and front collision warnings. With the convenient remote live view and parking impact alert cloud features, you can instantly check on your car or be notified of potential hit and runs. The U1000 and Thinkware's full range of dash cams are available online and in-store at thinkware.com, Best Buy, and Amazon in the US and Canada. And if you go to thinkware.com to buy, use code SMOKE20, that's SMOKE20, SMOKE20, and get 20% off any regular price Thinkware dashcam. That's code SMOKE20, SMOKE20 at thinkware.com to redeem that coupon at checkout. Available in the US and Canada on their website. And of course, we are also brought to you by Crown & Caliber. Guys, if you're looking to buy a luxury watch from Switzerland, chances are you can save a lot of money for the exact same product if you buy it used. And if you're going to buy it used, the problems come up about buying stuff on the internet that is frequently faked, like watches. So you want to buy used, you probably want to buy on the internet, but you want a trusted source. My sponsor, Crown & Caliber, has been there for me for years now, and they inventory 2,000 to 3,000 watches at any given time. They have a team of watchmakers and technicians. Every watch you see on their website, the photographs are of that actual watch. They have a mechanical guarantee so that if you get a watch, and even a vintage watch, and it doesn't work properly, they will make that right and make that watch work right for you. And they take in trades, especially they have a new deal. If you want to buy a brand new Breitling watch, off of Breitling's website, Crown & Caliber is their trade-in partner, so you can trade your old Swiss watch to Crown & Caliber for a credit at the Breitling store for a brand new Breitling. That's pretty cool. You could also get plenty of used Breitlings, Rolexes, Omega, AP, you name it, Cartier, on Crown & Caliber's website. Use code TST175 if you buy a watch, any watch. That's $175 off for you for liking the Smoking Tire. TST175 at crownandcaliber.com. $175 off any watch in their store, but only one per customer, please. Buy more than one, but you can only use a discount once. I'm sorry about that, but it's the way it goes. All right, on this episode of the podcast, I have got the editorial staff of Road and Track, or at least a substantial portion of it. Travis Okulski is here, Kyle Kinard is here, and Mack Hogan is here. They're in town for the LA Auto Show, and we did this one pre-Tesla Cybertruck. So there's not any auto show Cybertruck talk. That happened the following day. This happens when you trickle out episodes later. So it's Travis Okulski, Kyle Kinard, and Mack Hogan from Road and Track magazine. We talk about PCOTY a lot and what it's like to run a magazine on the Smoking Tire podcast.
Hello.
What up, fools? It is the Smoking Tire podcast on a Tuesday. What's happening, guys? Lots to go over today because we have a lot of guests and because Ford has dropped the Mach-E. The Mach-E. Oh God, it's gone good, but also so wrong. So hello and welcome to the Smoking Tire podcast with some Road and Track fuckers. Travis Okulski in studio.
Hey.
Kyle Kinard in studio. Mack Hogan in studio. Welcome. Hello.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all again. And you delivered the mail.
PCOTY
issue.
If you're a premium subscriber, I hand deliver the issues to you now. So, I travel around backpack full of magazines, apparently.
I really like your choice of cover photo.
I mean,
it's pretty good.
Look,
it's kind of a fuck you to a lot of people.
a lot of people have reciprocated that notion to us for putting that on the cover.
Look, you can put every magazine puts a group shot on the cover. So we didn't put a group shot on the cover. And you know what? Maybe it'll bite me in the ass. Maybe it won't. But I think it's pretty cool.
No, I think it's awesome. Front-wheel drive burnout from the Veloster N. I got a lot of angry letters and Instagram comments about it. So many.
Got both.
People are so angry.
I've gotten a lot of people who are happy and a lot of people who aren't happy. But you get that anyway. I mean, no matter what you pick, people are just either going to be pissed or they're going to be thrilled. So, I love making people happy or mad. Yeah. It doesn't, whichever one, it doesn't matter.
Not neutral, though.
Yeah, no, I don't like them to not have an opinion.
I also got a lot of people who, because this is my first time participating in such things, and I got a lot of emails from or messages from people who really were like, why didn't you do this? And I'm like, I was just asked to be there and drive some things this time. I don't know, the rules are printed in the thing. Actually,
yes.
I was handed
please forward all your complaints to Matt Farah. He was responsible for everything that went wrong.
He was responsible for not even things that went wrong, just editorial decisions,
right? Or anything.
That's the editor.
Yeah, I am the editor. If you want to complain, email me. My email is kyle.kinard. But looking at Reddit and any of the forums, especially the Corvette forum, after we announced this, this is one time I can say that literally nobody commenting has driven the car that we did not give the award to.
Yeah.
So there's times where people own the car, they spent time with the car, they've driven a bunch of them. No one drove the C8, yet they've decided the C8 is going to be the performance car of the year, and it did not win the test.
There's a lot of paper math out there.
Yeah. There's a lot. It's a lot of people on calculators thinking that the numbers matter when we say in here literally the numbers don't matter. Yeah. There's actually a whole article in the magazine because the magazine's different than what you saw online.
Good.
Slightly. So there's parts of.
Is there a whole article called "The Numbers Don't Matter"?
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah. There really is.
I would have found
fake news and fake numerals.
It's after the track. It's just before that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it.
Just before all the numbers.
After the track math.
Numbers don't matter.
So what appeared online was a sampling of it, but the whole issue is performance car of the year. That's the one about the numbers not mattering.
There it is.
Figured out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right here. It's called Figured Out, but the sub headline is, it's not a numbers game. Sports cars shouldn't be either. There you go.
Yeah.
By Sam Smith. Is this an article in which he talks to himself? I like those a lot.
That's every article. That's literally everyone.
There might be some things that don't have a byline on them where there's talking to himself, and it is Sam Smith who wrote them. But yeah. So what we did this time is instead of having, there's no other, the whole issue is about it. So it's a 60-page package of performance car of the year. So
Sounds like justification, Travis.
it is justification because I want to keep doing this test.
So if it's 60 pages, right, because Hyundai paid us, 30 of these should be Hyundai Veloster N ads, right?
Yeah, I mean, the checks from Hyundai have just been rolling in, man. No.
Actually, I just got my paychecks are actually coming from Hyundai Motor now.
Directly?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
cutting out the
hired
middleman.
Mack through Hyundai.
Yeah.
The middleman.
The checks are all in Korean though, so they're impossible to catch.
My bank thinks they're fraud. I don't know.
Mack changed his name to Mack Hyundai.
Yeah,
It's
he
kind
did.
of,
He did.
It was a
little bit
branding
extra
deal.
money on top,
The
right.
Mack Hyundai WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
Hogan.
Is my body now.
What's great is that people say Hyundai paid us. Hyundai hasn't had an ad in Road and Track, and I don't know how long. And
That's the game, bro. They
Right.
don't put the ads in the magazine. They put the ads in your pocket.
Yeah, but
That's
they
it?
didn't.
If they could see the ads, everyone would know.
Yeah.
Scam would be up.
That's true. I guess those pocket ads
It's
are what
real
makes it happen.
subversive, dude. It's
Well,
real subversive.
You know what?
They're doing it without doing it, right?
I tell
They
you
don't,
what,
look,
man.
they don't advertise in the magazine, but look at the publicity they're getting.
Yes, they're on the cover of paper
Yes.
that is frequently read by many people in airports, as well as hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
If you cut those pages in half, there's Hyundai ads in between them.
Yeah,
If you read
yeah.
the first letter of every sentence in the article,
Exactly.
it says Hyundai is king.
And
But
then
this-
Epstein didn't kill it.
I mean, the literal test says Hyundai is king.
Then
so-
again, this issue
Yeah.
we literally did kind of declare Hyundai
That's
Is
fair.
king.
Yeah, that's
But it's also the subtext.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
But it took a lot of like having been there for it. If you just stopped at the end of the first track day, the Hyundai wouldn't have been king. That's why it's important to do all the other stuff.
Right. Yeah. That's why it's so great that we have, we had 6 days with these cars this time. That I think tells the whole story because there was stuff that we went into, like Kyle and I talked before even going to the test, and we had like, here's our top 6. Here's the cars that are going to be in the top 6. We know this without even driving the cars. And it was like, I think we were half right.
Yeah, something like that.
So like stuff ended up surprising us. Like the Supra ended up being something that we had both driven before and thought was good, and then we drove it on the test and we're like, "What happened, man?" The
Well,
car is
in
not fun.
isolation, it's fine.
Right,
Fine becomes good when you have nothing to compare it against.
right. And when you have the absolute perfect condition,
Ask an
for
Irish
that-
sheep herder. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a really
Really good. That's really
I'm
good.
out. Yeah, that was good.
You have to pause and take a left to figure that one out.
we can just stop the podcast now if you want to go out on that note. Just end.
I'm just going to mute my mic and you guys talk.
But yeah, that's what's so great about having so much longer with the cars and being able to do like the full. We did 2 full days on the track. Well,
Yeah.
I did one day and everyone else did another day. But then we had the long days on the road, and I think we learned a lot, and it was really eye opening too to see the preconceptions we came in with, and then what ended up actually.
Yeah, and then like some cars are real like first impression cars, and other cars like C8. Like if you look at my little video, which a lot of people have, thank you, appreciate that. But like my reaction and like Kamisa's reaction at like the first time we drove the C8 were the same. And then he spent like a bunch of words crapping on it, and I had to like film little clarifying bits to be like, yo, that shine wore off kind of quick, so
Yeah.
chill. And then people sort of, they're like, but your first reaction was real and then your other reaction was not. And it's like, well, no, it's just more time passed and you
Right.
did more things.
Well, and we're not immune to the fanfare of the arrival of the mid-engine Corvette. It shows
it's
up on
not
that
shit.
trailer. We've got all
Not
the,
at all.
No,
all
it's
the text
nice.
around it. It was like a great car to drive at first, and then as the trip progressed, like
It was still a good. It was still good at the end of the trip too.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad
Yes.
car in
No,
any
absolutely.
way, but
that
there are.
particular car we had too was better at full braking, full
Yes.
throttle than
Yes.
it was at half braking, half throttle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's just, impressions change over time. And I think once, you spend more time with it, it was a great car, but it doesn't take advantage of the architecture in the way that it can. And once it has more power and once it has the hybridized front axle, I think you'll really see something that's incredible. But for now, it doesn't seem like the advantage, the advantage isn't there over the Stingray, over the C7 to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But but as a jumping off point, it will probably get
Yeah.
somewhere that's
yeah,
above the other one.
So where,
previous.
so
the
like
800
the
horsepower one's gonna fucking rule.
right, like the
That one's gonna be awesome.
like the C7 Z51 is an amazing car, and the C8 Z51 feels like it will be an amazing car once it has more to it, because the C7 feels like it got worse, I think, as it got more power, and the C8 I feel like will get better.
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah.
Like that front rear, it's like 500 wheel. After that, it's like, all right, let's chill out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It needs more revs too.
PCOTY
Yeah.
2022 or whatever it is, when we have the Grand Sport C8, it's just going to wipe the floor with everything. It seems.
Probably the ZR1 C8, right? Because
Yeah, the
Grand
Zora.
Sport's usually like
or
not
the-
big, not a huge power upgrade,
Yeah.
but grip is crazy. And then
I just
the ZR1 will be the
I'm a
720
Grand Sport
competitor.
whore. I want one real bad now that production's ended and
They
they're
must
dirt
be
cheap.
laying
They're like
around.
They're like $4 grand. Go buy
I just
one.
read a story that there's like thousands of Corvettes on the lot right
That's
now.
fine.
5,000
I saw,
Corvette,
yeah.
5,000 C7.
It seems like a good time.
yeah.
Seems like a good time to get in on one, actually.
Yeah.
Can I raise? On
Company
air?
car?
Not on the air.
Oh. Just say yes.
Let's talk money.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about
Wait, should we be asking
negotiate.
Hyundai or
Should we talk about
I
our
gotta
personal
ask-
finances right
ask
now?
Hyundai.
Yeah.
Hyundai? Can I have a Corvette?
That's funny. You learn to speak Korean. Can we get a Rosetta Stone? We can all negotiate together.
Man.
But, you know, I personally, in my voting, I had the 911 as number one.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah.
think it's amazing at pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Did any of you guys get to drive Taycan yet? Is it just me?
Doing it on Thursday?
Yo,
Yes.
it's bananas.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Toucan.
yeah.
The Toucan's good.
It's fucking real crazy.
been
Yeah.
The
It
Taycan.
is. It's like, it's pretty nuts. Like, the launch is uncomfortably fast,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
What's
But
that
it
turbo
has-
hitting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's one of the
Oh,
turbo
God.
spools. It's really.
I'm-
It has some fun Starship Enterprise noises it makes.
Yeah.
which I like.
I'm under obligation by our fearless leader to ask everybody at the Porsche booth where the turbocharger is on
God.
the Taycan
Well,
Turbo.
no, it's about
Oh,
the talk
no.
about. You have to ask about
As
the
the
development.
man.
You're supposed to talk about the
development of the
development of the
You're supposed to
turbocharger.
ask who? You're supposed to say, who's the guy who designed the turbo? I want to interview him and just keep walking around.
Yeah, well, there's
You're gonna be that
many
guy?
ways to approach this.
You're Jalopnik now. Is that what's happened?
We're
You hire him and you become Jalopnik.
Yes.
We're all
Yeah.
poached for Jalopnik. Thank you
Nothing-
very
I
much.
wasn't the editor in chief of Jalopnik for like a day and a half.
Nothing drew attention though from the turbo naming. Like when the Mustang came out, Porsche was like, "Yeah, everybody should. Wow, why Mustang, right?"
It's super crazy. Anyway, the Taycan
Throwing
2.7
them out.
RS is on its way.
all of Porsche standing behind the crowd of the Mustang, going, "Yeah, I don't know if I did this." I'm like, "Yeah, totally."
What's up with these guys?
Yeah,
When is the
no.
EcoBoost Mach-E coming out? No.
The Mach name.
I'm
didn't
glad I
bug me at
shut
all.
that down because that was a fun discussion.
They
Anyway,
had
next
Lightning.
thing.
Well.
They had Galaxy. They had Fusion.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
why Mustang?
I talked to the guy behind it for a long time trying to
right.
get that answer.
Can
and
you
for,
translate?
Yeah, I mean, for a question that they definitely should have seen coming, the answer was not that clear. So what I asked him is like, you know, they talked about, it's about affordable performance, but Ford makes a lot of affordable performance
The
cars.
Fiesta is also about affordable.
And it's not a Mustang. So I was like, the Focus RS has an engine that also goes in a Mustang. It has, the same all-wheel drive type setup as a Mach-E. Why is that not a Mustang? And this is. And he said that there's a soul and there is an undescribable.
Oh no, the Focus RS has no soul, and this electric crossover
It doesn't
does?
have the Mustang
Oh, no.
soul, apparently.
Listen, that's a terrible excuse.
It wasn't
Well,
great.
Well, we did. So you got a thing that said it's not good for sustained track use.
Yes.
And the Performance Pack 2 overheats its diff after like 5 laps on a track.
Well,
So
that's
family.
it. Also,
I hope
in its
Ford's
current
not listening
state,
to this.
In its current state, it can't do burnouts. It can't fully defeat traction control. So
That's
we asked about that,
unfortunate.
and he didn't know. The chief engineer said it couldn't, and then the guy in charge of the development project said it could, and they hadn't talked. Somehow.
What part specifically is Mustang on this?
The badge? No, that's not true. The badge isn't even the same. It's slightly different. So
Is there seats? Seats
I
from
mean,
Mustang?
the,
there like
the
a- is there-
interior's vegan, so
Where's
I'm doubting
Bose-
the
where's-
regular Mustang is vegan.
Where
seats.
is Bozy when you need him? Because then we can find.
What parts are shared with
call him.
any other Mustang?
Bozy,
I'd like
if you're
to know.
listening to this right now, please send me a text with what parts of the Mach-E and the Mustang are shared.
Yeah,
It's a
the
good
only
piece.
part he
Thanks.
said that
Hilarious
kind
if it
of
had a solid axle.
Going back.
In order to celebrate the heritage.
Yeah.
It's got a
Was it
solid
chain
axle.
drive or something like that.
Yeah.
Like-
He said the thing about it that made it more Mustang than like a Focus RS is that it is
The grill.
its own thing, not a performance version of another car. But he also said Mustangs are about being authentic and that they wouldn't have fake vents, which Mustangs have definitely had fake vents. But I was
Are
like,
you-
what about that
He
grill?
didn't, no, he didn't actually say that.
He
That's
said
horse shit.
He said it's authentic and like you wouldn't see a fake vent on a new Mustang.
A Ford person said to you that you wouldn't see a fake vent on a Mustang?
Yes.
These people need to talk to each other.
They also
Well, they have to rationalize it to themselves because it was somebody in sales who was like, if we throw a Mustang badge on this thing, we'll actually make some money. And then that dictated everything.
It's just, I don't know, man.
They also didn't know the Mustangs crashing at Cars and Coffee meme. They'd never heard of it.
Oh, guys.
Yeah,
I feel like that one's a lie.
Yeah.
I feel like they knew that.
No,
Yeah, they
no,
did.
okay. There
It
was
was a
one guy that
corporate
like
response
laughed
to
at
that.
it, and
It's
but
like
there was like
listen,
3 guys
guys.
who were just like, "What are you talking about?" And we showed them videos like, "Oh, wait, people think Mustangs do that specifically?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, all right."
There's no way they just heard about that.
Yeah,
That's
they didn't
the company
just
had a
hear about
meeting.
that from you 2 days ago or yesterday. Or how long is this trip? Oh, but you might not have a hotel room
I've been
anymore,
here
actually.
since I was born, basically at this
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
I really feel like that the name undermines how cool it is. 'Cause
It's a good-looking
cool.
car,
Right.
It's
right?
cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool on its
really
own.
good.
Well, because the
That's-
conversation is about the bastardization of the nameplate,
Yeah.
right? It's nothing about the content of the vehicle.
I don't even know anything about it.
I don't
All
know
I've
anything
ever
about
talked
it.
about
How big is the
bastardization.
It's
battery?
only bitching about the name at this point.
98.7 kilowatt, 99.
I couldn't give
just
you a
under
spec.
100.
Okay.
No.
Just
Yeah.
that it's named wrong. That's
Yes.
all I can tell you
Yeah.
about it.
Because I live with Ford now, I can give you the specs if you need them.
Yes.
So it's 300 miles of range and like a 99 point something kilowatt battery. Like it's lots of good things. It can fast charge at like 12,000 stations.
Okay, so
but
already it's not Mustang, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody leads into their Mustang conversation with like, well, with a full tank of gas, the range is 402 miles, buddy.
Oh,
Get a load of that.
0 to
Get a
60
load of this
is
vegan interior, though.
0 to 60 is mid 3 seconds. They said, but
Okay.
it still can't do burnouts. So what are we
It
doing
can
here?
if they just on the keyboard.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they don't want to because
he said
people
it
would crash.
probably will be able to by the time it comes out. Which why
Yeah.
is it unveiled a year early?
You could
Wait,
keep
when does it come out?
everything
Comes out
about it
next
except
fall.
the horses and the name. Everything else could stay.
They should have called it the Edgelord. Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Well, they still have time.
They have like
there's still time to
futuristic
The
redeem.
vans
GT
in
doesn't
their-
come out till spring
in their
of
Oh, they have a
2021.
GT?
Yeah, the GT
Yeah.
doesn't come out till
no,
spring
and
of
there's a
2021.
Pacific Coast Highway Edition or something.
California Route 1.
Man, imagine going to SFO, go on vacation, pick up your Mach-E with a panoramic roof, cruise on down Highway 1 to Silicon.
Vegan interior.
Just cruise on down there to LA, stopping for a charge 3-4 times.
Oh my God.
The Mustang Mach-E 405 edition
How
with a
much-
top speed of 3 miles an hour.
They put a charger in San Simeon and it costs like $80,000 to charge your car. There's no possible way to get around
Man,
it.
I can't wait for the Mustang 2 Mach-E.
Then they don't. They,
Or
and
the
they know
Shelby.
it reads Mache, right? It's
Well,
a
then
global
why does it have a
product.
hyphen? Why? It doesn't need a hyphen.
Wanted to keep its maiden name.
It's cheaper to make a badge when
yes.
there's only.
Yes, it was the Mach. Man, they just called it Mach. Like, remember back at years, this was like 6 years ago when they said at the auto show they were going to build a electric crossover and call it the Mach 1.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone was all mad that they called it Mach 1, so instead of calling it the Mach 1, they just called it a Mustang instead.
Yeah.
It seems wrong.
So for companies that have spun off an individual model into a brand,
Yeah.
Edsel.
like or Ram or Viper,
Genesis.
how has that gone for really any of them?
Genesis won Motor Trend's car of
Genesis
the
is
year.
Rams doing
Oh,
it?
did it?
Rams doing
What-
well.
what
At
did
some
they-
one year, I don't.
No,
didn't
like
do
this
last
year was the Corvette.
Last year.
Yeah, yeah.
was
What were the
G70,
other two
right?
this year?
This year was
Corvette.
Telluride?
Yeah, Kia.
Yeah,
I
but
was
the
just
other
curious
two, I
about
don't.
the SUV.
Well, are you
and
Matt, are you asking to measure in
Oh, Ram
terms of
heavy
sales
duty.
or how it's been received?
how it's been received. Really, like
I still think of a Ram as a Dodge Ram,
I do too.
and no one can tell me that it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
It's-
I've never had an ill will towards that brand when the
Right.
truck showed up. I'm like, I like the truck. It's nice.
Yeah.
I don't go, why do they have to change the name? But this is very different.
I thought it was kind of a weird decision. I didn't really get it.
Well, it's
but
like
okay.
if
It's like the kids moving out because their parents got weird. Like Jeep's like, we're the most successful Fiat Chrysler company, so we're just going to be Jeep now. And then Ram's like, we don't want to be associated with the Dart.
Yeah.
And then I never understood the Viper one either.
Well, that was when they made SRT its own brand, right?
Yeah,
Because
it was more
and then
that, right?
so is that
Oh,
but they were just putting it didn't make any sense because it was like the 300 SRT and then the Charger SRT and then the Viper was the SRT Viper.
Yeah. Has it
Gone.
stayed? It has stayed because it's SRT Hellcat. I
But
think
it's not its own brand.
But
It's
it's
like the
still
Viper
got
folded
back,
folded
but
under Dodge.
It's Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Red Eye.
But this is more of a form factor thing, right? Like the problem, like
Light body.
if they had taken a Mustang body and made it electric and badass, I don't think anybody would be complaining, right?
A Mustang
Oh, yes, they
Mach-E
would.
that was an
Would they?
electric Mustang, I think would make
a badass
more sense.
electric Mustang called Mach-E.
You're like that
I
one
wouldn't really
Cosima that was
complain
like
about.
1,000 horsepower.
People will
That makes
complain
sense.
about anything.
Well,
Correct.
okay, sure,
Yes.
but the conversation being dominated by like what the fuckism is mostly because it's a crossover shaped thing called Mustang, right? So
Yes.
it's like that's the failure.
The word Ford appears 0 times on it. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're going with that?
Yeah.
That's called pulling an Oldsmobile.
Yes.
Remember when they went Aurora and they
Yeah.
dropped the Oldsmobile from everything?
Yeah. Well, I think they think that Mustang has a lot of cachet and can be its own brand.
I think
there
they're
were-
probably right. And I read
They were right about
some
Aurora.
quote somewhere that said that a lot of people didn't identify Mustangs
Yeah.
as Fords, which makes people fucking stupid.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
don't understand that at all.
The Mustang brought
like
to you
Madonna.
by
It's
Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah.
Pure Mustang.
God.
I like what they've done with the interior, though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly Tesla inspired.
Like the car's probably going to be good. It's probably going to go.
It probably will be good.
Probably will. Probably will.
What's weird about the interior, though, is if you see the knob that's in the center, right now it's showing like a volume knob, and so they have a physical knob built into the touchscreen, which is really cool. Except right now it's just a volume knob. Like it has a screen in the middle, which makes it seem like it could do a bunch of other things or like be the fan
like
controller. or
change
whatever.
function.
No, it's a volume knob.
Oh,
That's
that's
it.
dumb.
But it's just built into the screen.
If it was like selectable, just scrolly radio
Right.
stations and volume, that
like
would be
JLR
awesome.
does it with like the weird heated
Yeah.
seats things or something. No, it's a volume knob, and that's what it does.
I always think
well-
that was clever for the heated seats.
Yeah, no,
I
I
did
think,
too.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I'm saying
Yeah.
if you're going to put a screen in it, it should probably do more than one thing. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
can just write volume.
Are
Right.
you
Jay-
certain it can only do one thing?
Well, it can only do one thing right now. This system supports over-the-air updates, which is, their way of saying, well, if things are bad, we'll just change them after you get it.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's good.
It's not like Honda where they like ditched the volume knob, and
You
then
don't
had to do
need a
like
knob.
1 year later they had to throw the knob back in the Accord and the
Yeah, the
Civic,
2015
the
Accord is
Lift
like
line.
The, Civ-
Yeah.
the Civic
Which year?
didn't have the knob, and then
That's
they
right. Yeah.
The Civic
And
I
the
have
Rich
right now
line,
has
I
a
know.
knob. It's nice.
Yeah.
You can turn the volume up and down.
because the clicking buttons on the Civic Si wheel were not good. They didn't
No.
feel good. They weren't fast enough.
Nope.
And you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had that like slidey finger
The slidey-
thing.
slidey
things
are no
yeah,
good.
nobody was in for that.
Why? There's some things that are just fine the way they are, right? That
Yes.
just have worked forever, and there's
Light
no reason to
switches.
change them. Yeah,
Knobs.
switches,
Door handles.
knobs, door handles.
Another Mach-E problem.
You know, like
well, what's the Mach-E problem with the door
Oh,
handles?
okay. So,
no.
as per
Door handle
usual,
shot?
they make a sound of a
We've had
V8
it
starting
too
up when you
good,
push them.
too long. I think people have written articles about the door handle, so if you Google it, it'll come up because it's not in the press photos. But although you can kind of see there's not a normal door handle. There's a little like metal, not like a little handle that pops out. That's not the door handle. That's a door pull. So what there actually is there's a little circle above that. You press that, it pops the door, then you do that. However, so it has phone as a key, which is the other thing. So the idea is you
I
walk
shit
up.
on that until I used it in a Model 3 for a week, and then I felt a little primitive going back. It's pretty sweet.
Really?
dude.
Right. And they
If
have
you're
a good
gonna carry
backup.
a key, if you're not going to have to put the key in and turn it,
Yeah.
you might as well just jump straight to phone.
Rather
Yeah.
than a fob.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
makes sense.
because
At
it's
this
a
point,
Ford.
it's
Yeah.
a reliable enough connection.
Why don't we have the
that you can jump straight?
Why don't we have like iPhone like finger thing?
Isn't there
like-
someone who did have their Tesla key implanted in their arm?
yeah.
Oh,
That
jeez.
person is an idiot.
and
Yeah.
probably dead.
They're
because
probably
they got
dead. Yeah.
infected.
Well,
Oh, wait.
So is this
Okay,
it?
there it is. Okay, so the idea is you really
just a
shouldn't
little
have to
trim
press
piece?
that stuff because when you walk up with your phone in the pocket, it's supposed to auto pop for you. So it's going to pop out like an inch or so, and then you're going to grab the pull and open it. If that doesn't happen, you can press that little button, and that's also how you do the. It's a Ford, so it's got the keypad.
It has a keypad
It has the
still?
keypad.
No.
That's great.
Yes.
As the
I love the
as the
keypad.
backup for
Love
if
it.
your phone's
Great.
dead.
The keypad is excellent.
So it's got so many. Wait, does it have its own key too? Is there a key?
They would not confirm whether or not there would be a key.
No, there's always got to be.
There's got to be a key because there's a
Well,
lot of
here's
people who
the
don't have
backup.
smartphones.
Here's the backup. The backup is you type the key in for the for
the code?
The code, and then inside you have another code that's a startup code. So if your phone's dead, you can then punch that in and it turns
like
on
that.
the car.
I like that better than a key.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually.
Here's the problem.
What worked in the Tesla was the credit card key backup.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
comforting, and
That's nice.
in to think about if your phone died, it was good
or
to
if
have
it's like
that.
icy or something.
Or
which-
like I gave it to my wife to take the car to the store.
Right.
Like
Right.
that actually worked pretty good.
So the big
Code is
problem
good, too.
is that so you have those little metal door pulls on the front. You don't have them on the back. So I swear to God,
How do you open the back door?
so
Guys,
you pop.
Here's why it's a Mustang. Only 2 doors, really.
So there's a little nub
Yeah.
above the rear door that you press, and it pops the door a little bit. And I swear to God, the Ford-approved way to open it is you stick your hand in the jam and pull it open. Now, they say that it has some safety mechanism so you can't then slam the door on your fingers because you're putting your fingers...
Wait. You
So-
press the button, but then there's no handle
There's no
after
handle.
that?
So it
Why?
pops it open, and then you stick it in the door jam, in between the bodywork.
Isn't real.
I
Come
swear
on.
to God.
You're kidding me.
That's so silly because the front door, like the handle
That's
makes
it.
sense. It
Yeah.
blends in. You don't see it,
Right.
which is kind of silly because you still
Is
have
that,
a handle.
is that
So why
handle
couldn't you
you
pull
were
it?
looking at there, is that popped?
The handle
always
doesn't
stays that
move.
way.
Is it
The
permanent-
handle-
is that
it's a-
permanently
it's
popped?
a pull. It is
Okay.
not a hand. So it doesn't
it's just
flex
a
at all.
fixed pull.
Yeah.
So you press
Which-
that little button,
Which,
you
all right.
pop it, and then you open it like that.
Well, that's more annoying than it needs to be, but okay.
Well, it should be pre-popped if you pre-popped.
So basically, they did the fixed
Why
handle to get rid of the mechanical release of pulling a handle,
Is
right?
this the longest doorknob conversation
I'm-
we've
Yes.
ever
I'm
had? on
really-
this podcast?
flabbergasted. This is the stupidest solution.
No, okay.
This didn't
Really
No, no,
ready
but
to move on
the
from
I-
this conversation
Are you?
about
I'm
Mach-E
super
door
annoyed about
pulls.
this.
Why
No,
couldn't
that's
it
not
just
that
have?
dumb. I don't think.
You
because
don't think that's dumb?
Well,
No,
it's
that's
dumb.
fine.
It's
The back
dumb.
door with nothing is
Why?
dumb.
That's dumb. Yes.
That's very
Wait,
dumb.
because that one's supposed to be automatically pop for you. See, nothing on the back at all. So
And the back doesn't
Right.
automatically pop.
So you press that button in because it won't auto pop.
Right.
And then you jam your hand in between the door and where the door closes. You can see why
Yeah,
this
yeah.
might be a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
And then apparently there's some safety system to prevent you from smacking your hand on the door. I don't really know how that works. But yeah, so you just kind of stick your hand directly in the door jam.
That's
and
so
then if you
stupid.
ever try and get another
Why wouldn't
car
they just
again-
hide another handle like right in this trim piece? I mean, maybe it's a structural problem, but
Oh,
they
I
have it
don't
over
get the
here.
impression that why
Range.
was asked a lot
Yeah.
in the
Because
development of this
you get a
car.
half a mile of range for not
Yeah.
having a door handle.
Come on, Zach.
It kind of reeks of that gullwing
Range.
door on the Model X, where it was just like everyone was like, "Yes, we can do it."
Has
And
anyone ever
nope.
made a better
Yeah.
door handle than just a normal one that you just pull and then the door
the
opens?
NA Miata has a pretty good door handle.
I mean, I understand flush, but even I'll give Tesla credit where they're due. The Model 3 door handle, where it's pretty flush except for one little nub, and
Yeah.
you push the thumb, and there's the handle, and then
Yeah.
pull.
Right.
Yeah, or the
That
new
works.
911
It's like an
911 is a good door
LC500
handle.
does that too.
911 is
Yeah.
a good door handle too.
Yeah, it just
I
pops
don't know.
out.
I felt like that was kind of annoying.
Okay.
It wasn't working for me a lot. And then you had to like really dig under there and pull the handle out. Those door handles were kind of shit.
Okay.
Wait, are they
Went from good to kind of shit in a
Fine.
matter of 8
You know what?
seconds.
It seems better than this solution.
Your
It's definitely better
staff.
than this. Yeah.
God.
No,
it's like
not
they
having
couldn't
one at
afford the
all.
Falcon Wing doors and
Yeah.
just did something.
You're going to get one of
reeks
these
of
as an
gimmick.
Uber someday, and then the Uber driver, 90% of his job is just going to be explaining, okay, here's how you get in the back, because it's not going to.
No, he's gonna have to get out and open the car for you
Yeah.
because the back doors will be broken from the outside.
And if it snows, you're just not allowed in the car.
Vinny got an Uber yesterday that was a red XC90R design. I was like, wow, someone can't make the payments on this.
Jeez.
That's an expensive
That's a
vehicle
very
to be running
expensive
Uber
car.
with.
Yeah.
And
Great
that's
taste.
like a rare color for Volvo because they
Yeah.
did not have that color at the press launch.
No.
No.
They're more of a subdued kind of blue-gray
Yes.
kind of people.
They're a gentle Swedish people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met some Volvo engineers at the Apex premiere last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They were very cool. Yeah. It was it went well.
Yeah.
We had this dude David Morse who won the 82
3 or 82.
I think he won the 82 US Express.
Invented Morse code.
and-
Really quite a resume on this guy.
Oh, Mac, is that my phone vibrating up there? If it is, will you just grab it and throw it to me? I apologize. And he was telling us stories about, driving a Porsche 928 with, which has the passenger compartment is not separate from the trunk.
Yeah.
And the whole trunk had a 40-gallon fuel bladder, like a bag of fuel.
That seems
with
safe.
just clothes thrown on top of it.
Yeah.
And it just really, really seemed very dangerous.
No kidding, because the weight you add changes the dynamics of the car, and then it gets lighter and lighter, and I don't know.
Early 928, no aero, just narrow body car.
And I'm sure the technology for storing fuel in a bladder back in the 80s was fantastic.
Really good.
There was probably
waterbed salesmen were on point back in that time. Though. My grandfather had one.
Yeah, my God, there was probably a waterbed.
Yeah, it was cool. We recorded the Q&A afterwards with him, so that'll be a partial podcast.
Recording failed.
Fuck out of here.
Totally did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why we're going to have David Morse on the podcast again in the future.
Really?
So I was like, hey, Alex, can we get this email? Because that didn't work out.
God,
it was like a 26-minute show. It was a good show, though.
Shit.
Well, the people who were there really enjoy it. And go see the December 3rd premiere in New York, right?
I saw the movie last year?
Yeah.
6 months ago or something, whenever they showed it in New York. It was really cool.
It's awesome.
I've seen iterations of it too through JF and through Alex, and it was cool to finally see like the finished product.
The final product, like it finally included all the old footage, which some of the earlier cuts had limited amounts of the old footage.
Yeah.
And the 10 minutes they do on George Egloff, I think, is really interesting.
Which guy was he again?
The motorcycle guy.
Oh.
So this guy, George Egloff, is the only person to have competed in both Cannonballs and all 3 U.S. Expresses.
On a bike?
Solo on a bike.
Yeah.
This is some Zach Bowman shit.
And he was like super mellow about it.
Yep.
About the fact that he just rode for 50 hours.
Did he have
solo?
Did he have a fuel tank or something? With
No.
it? Like how did he? He was
He
just
stop
filling
and
up
fill.
every.
Yeah, he would just stop and fill.
Yeah.
But he's just like, sleep for 45 minutes now and then ride for another 10. It would take him like 40 hours.
Yeah. But he did it every time, and he
Yeah.
did it on a Honda CBX, which is an amazing motorcycle, 6-cylinder motorcycle. And he was just very modest about the fact that he was by far the most hardcore person there.
That is super hardcore.
Yeah.
That's
do you
bananas.
have, there's what's George Egloff, the Lone Rider? Oh, that's a 32 hours 7 minutes promo. Yeah, if you want to see a little
Roll
promo,
that.
wow, from 2008 on YouTube, George Egloff, the Lone Rider.
Wow.
But there's a nice tangent about him in the film, and they go a little more in depth into each of the really interesting characters from the guys. Some of the guys from the 80s were like fucking out of their minds. I mean, there's one guy, and they don't say it, but he looks like he's done an 8-ball.
I was gonna say
immediately before.
there was a lot of coke going around to keep you awake.
Yeah, which guy? I was sitting next to Sarah Trimble, and there was just someone come on screen, and she'd go, crazy eyes. And then later on, another guy popped up, and I saw the same eyes with tiny pupils, and I was like, crazy eyes.
Yeah.
And they had to stay up for 33 hours.
Yeah.
They didn't have Red Bull back then.
It's like Wehrmacht soldiers, At some point, they were on something.
Did we talk about the book?
Which one?
Was it Blitzed?
Which book? Kyle has a lot of books about that time.
I've got
almost a weird amount of them.
Blitzed, right? Wasn't that the book, Zach?
Blitzed?
Yeah. Blitz, Drugs in the Third Reich is the name of the book.
I think we did talk about
it's
this.
just basically a book about how the entire Third Reich was on speed. And a lot of them on morphine as well.
Not surprised.
Because it was being prescribed. It was being developed and prescribed like in huge quantities.
They would sell it in chocolate to like the citizens, and then later just gave it to soldiers without the chocolate.
Well, I
part.
want to say the Third Reich produced methamphetamine for the first time.
That's what they were doing. It was meth.
So
it was
an amazing book.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I strongly recommend that.
How
book.
did we end up here from Mach-E, from Mach-E?
Hey man, you're the one that said Wehrmacht.
The movie we were talking about.
There.
Old story about George Egloff.
Oh, I guess so.
Just found it.
Click around. Badass.
But some of those other like the guy telling a story about the dude fixing his car at 80 miles an hour.
Mike Daganis.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
Mike Daganis is this like super goomba from like Queens or something. Real meathead guy. Drives a Pantera that supposedly was a 200 mile an hour car in 1983. and he said there's the car, second picture in, and he said he had a riding mechanic with him, and he just fucking drove. I remember mechanic, and he said this mechanic climbed out of the car and fixed like an injector.
Well, they had twin ignition systems, and one of the wires had like rattled loose on one of them, double MSD. So the guy had to climb out on the roof at 85 miles an hour.
It's like setting R2D2 to go do something,
and then climb back in. And my favorite part is they were like, "Has he done that before?" And Mike was like, "No, I just suggested he do it this time." He was like, "Oh shit!"
He goes, "I didn't ask if he'd done it before."
Yeah.
But I suggested he'd do it this time.
He'd do it this time.
Yeah.
My God.
So good.
It's like the guys you see driving around Dubai on two wheels, changing a tire as you move.
Habibi.
What a wild thing. Could you imagine if something like that still existed?
They make it sound so fucking glamorous, but
yeah.
Yo, I've done shit kind of like this. It's not that fun.
No.
It's like 3 hours to an hour of fun in the beginning, and then an hour of fun in the end, and then 28 or so hours of utterly
misery.
Dull
28
misery.
hours of soiled diapers.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, that's the thing. You got to do like in diapers, and you got to have fuel. You're driving a shit bomb across the country.
And it's funny. We're talking about. I guess we'll have to talk to him again about it because you never hear about this part on the podcast. But we're asking. David Morse, who is one of the winners, although not a record holder, about oh fuck me, I just brain farted. Where was I going with that? You nodded because you knew where I was talking about, Zach. And then
David Morse, he drove the 928.
No, I know, but we're
bathroom
breaks.
No, before the bathroom breaks.
Diapers.
Shits.
Oh,
Wear marks?
Oh no. Okay, sorry.
So it was
thought
Wear
regained.
marks brought you
How
back.
Brock Yates, yes, the Nazis. No,
Yeah.
how Brock Yates, conceived the Cannonball as sort of this protest against the 55 mile an hour speed limit.
Yeah.
And I asked David Morris, I was like, by the time you got to like 82 and 83, was it still about that, or were you really just fucking racing? And he's like, no. He's like, was it about that? He's like, we were racing, dude. He's like, if someone said it was about that, like, that's great. But like, we were definitely just racing.
Yeah, he said it was never a protest for me, and we just laughed so hard.
Well, that one of the guys in the movie, who had done it back in the day, he was like, he's like a lawyer or something. He's like, I was vehemently against the 55 mile an hour speed limit, and I took great pride in exceeding it by as much as possible every chance
he had fuck the police coming out of his eyeballs. He really did. But David Morse, he was like the guy that goes to a charity event to pick up chicks. He's like, I mean, if we want to shovel dirt and help this ecosystem, sure, but look at that ass.
When is the movie getting like released, Zach, on iTunes or whatever? So someone
it has to go through their like internal QC, which they're working on. So I don't know. I can tweet it out and put it on here, but it's gonna be very soon. It'll be on iTunes.
And there's a premiere December 3rd in New York at a thing. Is it at a? Is that?
I think it's at the Classic Car Club. Right?
Oh, it's at Classic Car Club?
That's what Alex just said.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
If you want to get updates on that, you can go to apex.one and then go to the bottom and click the link of to get on the emailing address or emailing list.
Apex.one?
O-N-E. Yeah, apex.one.
It's pretty good. I'm also in it. Yay. I mean, I am. I'm in it.
And yet it's
there's
still
a funny
good.
little Easter egg in which there's some old footage from Alex from like 2005 doing his like weather calculations.
Yep.
And he's got a dual monitor setup, which for 2005 was like a big deal, Yeah. And on his left monitor is the first original layout of Jalopnik.
Oh my!
And it's so shitty looking. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was not a. It was not a pretty thing.
It's a good little fun Easter egg, but it's nice to see the polished finished version of the movie be as good as it is. And he's got Ice-T narrating his fucking life.
So nuts.
That's
just hilarious.
Remember when we did the first Apex? JF was talking about wanting to get Ice-T to be a narrator and couldn't get Ice-T to be a narrator. So having Ice-T narrate this one, I think, was a pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Ice-T's into like
he loves cars.
He loves cars, and
he did some rally stuff too, right?
Yeah, he did Bull Run twice. JF changed his tire on the side of the road. The Bull Run 2000.
Isn't that how they met?
I thought that was like the genesis of this whole thing. Was
the genesis
JF stopping to
enough Hyundai plugs?
No,
okay, we get it. They gave you a lot of money.
Ultimately, Ice-T is really close friends with this dude Seth Rose,
Yeah.
who is like a Long Island repo man, and he's
great.
He's hilarious, actually, and he is he puts on these charity like day rallies in Long Island, and so he was able to make the connection. But JF did change Ice-T's tire on the side of the road, like somewhere outside Chicago, and and he remembered, obviously, but But I don't think it was like on Twitter, like, yo, remember me, the guy who can you voice over my movie?
That's amazing. I just got a text from Bozy. He's looking into it for us.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He just texted because someone alerted him that I talked about him, which is disappointing that he wasn't listening in the first place. But now I know that he's on it.
All that matters is he knows now.
He knows now.
And we're good.
And he can help.
The Bozy signal has gone out.
Yeah. Yo, that's hilarious. We should make a little, like, that should be a shirt, dude.
Bozy
should that
signal?
be our shirt, like the bat signal, but it's a Bozy signal?
Bozy.
Where we need to know something. Is that too inside baseball for a shirt?
It might be.
It's a little inside baseball, but I mean, how many sales do we need to be happy?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever said. Did I ever say on the podcast announced that we made $12,000 profit from the Carl Ruiz shirts for the charity?
No, that's good.
I went to, we sold that awesome shirt, and I went to this Pig Beach event in Brooklyn. Pig Beach is an outdoor barbecue venue.
Yeah.
And
It's right next to my house.
Is it?
I was there last
week.
That's like
there?
2 blocks from my house.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't make it more clear that this was going on. It was amazing. 20 of Carl's favorite chefs from all over the country came in and were making food. So, and there was an auction, and there was like free open bar and everything, but like Fox Brothers barbecue, Chaps Pit beef, like Gotham smash burger. That's the Fox Brothers barbecue bologna, smoked bologna sandwiches. And it was fucking bomb. There's Fritos. Yes, those are Fritos on that. It's amazing. And there was like Sabre hot dog cart, free fucking hot dogs. I got in a bidding war with Guy Fieri for Carl Seiko, which Guy won because he's so rich.
Dude, how was that?
I had the
How was putting together that piece? Because it was great.
Oh, going to
Flavortown.
I don't know if I ever talked about Flavortown on the show.
Yeah.
So my friend Carl, who passed away, was Guy Fieri's chef de cuisine. That watch right there, go back to that real quick. See that Apple Watch? Audi bribed me with that Apple Watch on the R8 launch. I donated it to charity. It got $500 at the silent auction.
They had Apple Watches at
so
the
they
R8
did this,
thing?
Yeah,
the
they did this
RS6
super
thing?
corny thing where they're like, put this Apple Watch on, and we're going to track your heart rate in conjunction with your speed and create some sort of waveform with it. And I literally laughed in the dude's face and hucked the watch into the glove box, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Ask Andrew Collins about this.
Oh my God.
And I was like, all right, and I forgot about it. I left the watch in the glove box, and I was like, that was dumb, and went home. And then a week later, that Apple Watch showed up in a box, like, thanks for coming. This is for you. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So we donated it to the auction.
Good.
Good.
But so we went.
What world is that?
I do. What you need to bribe me to tell you that a $200,000 Audi is good?
There was an automaker that shall remain unnamed that gave out $50 Visa gift cards, 4 of them at a car launch.
The most flagrant one I've ever heard of was the new NSX at Sonoma.
Yeah.
That Chris Harris said every journalist got an awry helmet with their
Stilo.
name.
It was a carbon fiber Stilo. I don't have one, but I know somebody who does.
I know somebody
with their
that's
names
got
painted
one.
on them,
Yes.
right?
Well, no, it was in stickers.
It was stickers?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so.
All right.
There was an automaker
Harris
who gave
donated
out
his to charity.
Yeah.
There was an automaker that gave out MacBook Pros.
Oh
at
my
launch.
God, really?
And here's the thing: they didn't give out the press kit to anyone except for they were like, it's on the computer.
Well, Audi gave me an iPad once. Like when the iPad was a new thing, they sent me an iPad that had the press, and there was a thing that was like, the press kit's on it. And I was like, cool, this is neat. And when I went to the launch, I was like, here's your iPad back. Like, that was cool. Do that again.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you keep that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And they're like, no, you keep that. I was like, no, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody, but like, it was absurd.
Yeah.
So, Boxster Spyder.
The specs are written on these $100 bills.
Boxster Spyder's great. The most interesting things about Flavortown.
Cheaper.
Did
the
you
fake grocery store that is also a real grocery store.
Oh, for the show.
Yeah.
It's actually a real grocery store?
It's inside of a studio.
Yeah.
It's not open to the public. 100% of the food is real.
No shit.
Whoa.
And it's all stocked deep. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's one layer of food and then cardboard. It's
It
all
looks like
real
a
food.
real store.
It is. It's not, but it is. It's
What do
like,
they do
Does he
with
go
the food?
shopping
they
on
donate
TV?
all of it to the homeless.
Oh my god.
Yeah, every bit of it.
That's
He gives away
lovely.
hundreds of pounds of food every single day.
That's really nice.
And we wanted like a snack, and he was like, like go to the grocery store. Have
Yeah.
at it.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
yes, open snacks.
awesome.
Although they were like, fair warning, like some of the dry goods and shit have been here for like a minute. Like, not a lot of people like use chips in their recipe, but we have to
Yeah.
have them in the store. So like, check your dates on some of the stuff. But like, Guy is the nicest person ever. He's the showrunner on the show and the host and the EP, so which is crazy.
Yeah.
And his house is amazing. It's also in Santa Rosa. He doesn't have all yellow cars anymore. Thank God.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh.
That yellow
That was
cars
a thing?
picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a picture of... It
was like a Camaro, a Corvette,
Google
a-
Guy Fieri yellow car. It's
I remember
Chevelle.
this.
And he had a thing for yellow cars for a while. And he was like, yeah, yellow cars were great when you're famous for a chef. But when you're famous for a TV star, that is not a good plan. And the only yellow cars he still has are the Chevelle that's up front in that photo. Because it was apparently...
That photo's tiny.
Yeah.
No,
3,000.
it's no, you. It just didn't fully load yet. Open, do it again. If it doesn't fully load, you can do it. That the Chevelle was like his first car, and his first nice car, and so he's still got that. And he's got a yellow Ferrari 430 Spyder that he said was a gift from like somebody, and he's got those. All that other stuff is gone.
It was a
Whatever.
gift
all that,
from an Audi press launch.
That's what happens if you don't keep the computer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's an old picture, I guess, because that Chevelle is the only yellow car that's left.
My favorite website, History Garage.
Yeah. He's got.
Wow, look at that.
There's a black one.
Yeah.
The Cobra was not there. He's got. Let's see. What was there? There was a Rolls Wraith. Not a Wraith, a Ghost. A Rolls Ghost. There was
Yellow?
another. No, black.
Oh,
There was
okay.
a black Chevelle, the yellow Chevelle, the yellow Ferrari, a black Corvette, one of those like. It was a C6, but like the 420s, the Z06 convertible.
The 427.
427 Z06 black. It was like some special Guy Fieri edition he did with Barrett Jackson for charity, and they made
Nice.
two, and he got one, and
Yep.
someone else
There
got
will be
one.
a C8 version.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Right. And then he had a bunch of trucks and side by sides and stuff.
Were they all black and or yellow?
No, there was a white, and they were different.
So there was at least, because it sounds like he branched out from yellow to also include black. But
No.
did it include blue at any point?
I
or
didn't see a lot
red?
of blue, but there was a
Okay.
white truck and a silver truck and
Okay.
a bunch of side by sides and quads and dirt bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
More importantly, the man's kitchen was the best home kitchen I've ever seen, and he had the best answer to one of my questions was like, "What do I do in my kitchen to
Yeah.
take my kitchen to the next level?" And he's like, "It's all about those BTUs, brother." And he turns on the stove, and like the biggest stove
Yeah.
flame
Yeah.
I've seen. And he has a 1-inch propane line going into his house. I have a 1/2-inch natural gas line in
my
my house.
God.
And so the
Jesus.
horsepower, he's got a 16 burner stove, and the size of the flame is so intense. It was crazy.
Sounds-
And then he's like
sounds
pizza
dangerous.
oven outside, double Santa Maria grills, gyro spit, plancha.
Is he cooking
like,
for some sort of methed up
He has a lot of
German
parties.
army or something?
He's got a lot of parties at his
Yeah.
house, and he doesn't have like a staff
Bring
like
it
a
back
home
to
staff,
Worma?
but he's got
I
like
don't know.
a
I tried.
restaurant staff that comes over and cooks.
Wow.
Where you from,
couldn't
Kyle?
have
Where'd you grow up?
No, we
North
were
America?
So, yeah, what's the deal with the Mach-E?
No, he couldn't have been any nicer. Actually, the most hospitable, nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What did you think of the Spyder?
oh, it's pretty nice. Did you drive it yet?
I did, yeah. I drove it at the launch, and I was kind of thinking most of the time, like, I would almost rather have just a GTS than pay the extra for the Spyder.
The GTS I drove was.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know how much the Spyder costs, so they wouldn't tell
It's
me.
about
Do they-
100 and... I think
It's like 100. It's like it's 100
110.
base, right?
Yeah.
The
99?
GTS I drove was the yellow one that was floating
Yeah.
around LA,
Yeah.
and it had
I
I think it had quite a few options on it, but it was like in the middle 90s.
Oh, really?
So if That's the Delta. Give me the 6-cylinder, please. Yeah. I think you get more.
At the launch, they had you were basically following like GT3 RSs. So like you get into this thing and you're like, finally the 6-cylinder's back, and then you're following the pinnacle of
that's
flat
dumb.
6.
No, that's
and you're kind of like, it dulled it a little bit, and it had that weird particle filter on it that they have in all the shit in
well, that's why I'm reserving judgment on the sound.
It kind of needs an exhaust.
Yeah. I'm reserving judgment on the sound, but like it was the best of those that I've really ever driven.
Yeah.
If I was following a GT3 RS and I had to listen to that guy's exhaust for an hour and a half, I'd be fucking annoyed.
Yeah.
But that's like, you're talking about the only better engine than this. Like, this engine is amazing, except compared to the better one.
Yeah.
You know? But that better one costs kind of a lot more to get.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the top was a little, like, kind of finicky, too, and just like, what?
Finicky?
I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. I put it up and down pretty fast.
I don't know. It was raining on and off when we were like in
I
Scotland for
went
this
up and
thing,
down.
and it was
I
just
think
like,
you're a bitch.
Man,
I think you're a bitch.
Sounds
I thought this car was
maybe.
fucking awesome. I drove 1,200 miles in 36 hours in this car. It was great.
Yeah.
Had front and back
And the
trunks.
press kit they sent him was on an iPad Pro, so I mean,
they flew me to Tenerife.
They did.
No, is that where the launch was? Oh, Scotland.
Scotland.
That
yeah.
sounds kind
We
of
went to
awesome.
Knock Hill.
No, I liked the car a lot. I didn't.
I didn't dislike it. We had the GTS at Lime Rock like in the days before I left on that trip, and that was a good car.
Was that a GTS?
It was.
It was a really good car.
Yeah. And so then we got into that thing.
My friend has a Cayman GT4, and I thought the GTS was kind of awesome too. So you got a point.
Yeah, the GT4 was really good too. I thought there was more of a case for that because you've got the roof overhead.
Yeah.
They're both good. This thing I just think is stunning.
They're all great,
it's so
right?
good looking, man.
They're all like
They're all
the
very good,
shittiest
yeah.
one is so good.
Did that picture make it to the other screen, or is that lingering?
No, I've gone back and forth.
All right. Yeah, that's so. And that building behind that picture on the right is a massive octagonal barn, which they used to use to auction horses back in like the 1890s.
Wait, really?
In 1900s.
Wow.
I didn't want to post a picture of the inside of it because it was in it's guys' property, but I'll show you guys a picture. But it,
and then we'll post it for a price.
We'll post the photo.
He's
of your
decorating it in a very cool and interesting way, but it was enormous. But
Rad.
yeah, no, that was a fun story to write. It was exhausting. I was dead by the end of it.
Wait, where does he live?
Santa Rosa. So it's like
it's
an
all
hour and
California.
10 minutes north of San Francisco.
Wow.
So I left
Yeah.
Venice at 4 a.m. and I got there at 10:06 a.m.
That's real good.
Which is moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to like Central California, like south of San Francisco, like at a pace that I have never seen before, in a sustained
Legal pace,
way.
though, of course.
Totally
Yep.
legal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's the first light. That's me like peeing somewhere in the middle of California. What time was that taken? Does it say? No.
No, it just says the date.
Well, I can endorse Boxster Spyder.
Okay. Yeah.
Why are you guys here for auto show or is there other stuff? I thought press days were kind of done by now.
Press day is tomorrow.
Yeah, that hasn't started yet.
It started. Yeah.
I thought, what has everyone
I've
been
been here
doing
since
over there
Thursday.
yesterday and today?
I don't know. Is it slowly setting up, or
Yeah, I mean,
they're in
so-
town for drives or something?
The Ford trip
Yeah.
started on
I came in Thursday night.
Started
Yeah,
on Thursday.
that's right.
And it goes until Thursday. It's
I live
super
here
long.
now.
Are you serious?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a Californian. I pay income tax here.
I didn't
Wait, you
understand.
were
your
Hyundai-
joke. I didn't
Hyundai.
understand
You went
that
last
joke
week?
before
Yeah.
about being with
Yeah, the Ford trip's a
no,
week
I've
long.
been here since Thursday.
What?
It only has
Oh,
events
no.
every other day.
How delightful.
So right, you don't have anything.
And
You don't have
also a
anything
huge
today.
waste
It
of
was
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
like Saturday we did nothing. So Friday we saw the car. Saturday we did nothing. Sunday we drove Mustangs in the canyon and then saw the car again, and it looked like the last time. And then,
I love that they had you driving Mustangs in the canyon. They really primed.
Yeah.
They really tried to show you that connection.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I said since it all leaked on Friday anyways, they should have just had us drive the Mach-E and cut the first drive program.
Oh wait, didn't I see in some disclaimer? Did you get kicked out of something?
No, Jalopnik did.
Oh, Jalopnik.
Yeah.
Did. Oh, yeah, you don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did they get kicked? They got kicked out for publishing leaked documents.
Yes, they were not welcome at the embargoed briefing because they had already published something on it. And Autoblog and I think Aaron Cole with the Car Connection also got the
Really?
boot. But a couple outlets that also covered it were there, which was the weird part.
That's
like,
weird.
It was not
Not
and like
consistent.
It should be one size fits all. If you're not
Yeah.
going to include somebody for doing something, don't include the
Well,
other
and
people.
we didn't have anyone on shift when it broke, and then by the time we were talking about, oh, are we writing this? I was like, well, I'm in the briefing, so at this point it would be a little underhanded to publish something in the briefing because now that I can confirm what's true and not, right?
Yeah. So wait, do you drive the thing?
No, we got to ride in it.
So you're here for a week, and that ride in the tunnel is it?
Yeah. I mean, we got a slightly bigger ride around. Past the SpaceX hangar, coincidentally, around the Jet Center, and then back into the Jet Center, did a 0 to 55 sprint, and that was it.
Picks up your iPads at Apple
got
HQ.
our iPad. And that was what we did. I mean, the reason it's still a week after, like, we would be gone on Sunday night, but, you know, the LA Auto Show. So I could have flown back, you know, Monday morning. It's just that, you know, we're also here for the Auto Show. Yeah. But...
That's a serious press
Yeah.
job.
Oh, and then yesterday we got scheduled to go to the briefing for the Corsair Grand Touring, but I'm not allowed to talk about that till Wednesday.
Oh, really?
So don't tempt me.
Oh,
It's
I don't know what that is.
It's a Corsair plug-in hybrid.
Oh.
Which is
I thought you couldn't talk about that till Wednesday.
No, I mean their naming scheme is if it says Grand Touring, it's a plug-in hybrid. So,
Oh.
but I'm not going to tell you what it looks like.
But not GT for Mach-E. That doesn't mean Grand Touring. That's
No.
only for Lincoln.
No, that
Yeah,
means
that's a Lincoln
okay.
That means sporty.
Right, got it.
Yeah, that means
Okay.
Mustang
Was I not
GT.
supposed to-
When are these Mach-E's supposed to be like coming out?
So fall of 2020 for the first edition, and then the GT and the base model won't come out till spring of 2021.
So the middle one is the first one to come out.
The middle one,
Okay.
yeah. So the extended
What are you
battery
shaking your
one.
head at?
It's a year away.
It's a year and a half away from the GT.
Not a year. Just show it to us, then put it on sale.
Well,
Do the thing
I'll
that-
actually still be at the Intercontinental when it comes out.
Yeah,
so.
that's great.
It's
great.
It's a
Someone
And you're
reminded-
writing 50 words on it?
Somebody reminded me that I guess it was in '64 when they came out with.
They were at every dealership.
They unveiled the Mustang and then had one at the dealership ready to go.
Yes.
That's fucking genius.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make moves.
You could do that thing because there was no internet or photography
gotta-
that would be spread around for
But they got to
days,
match
but-
Tesla on everything.
You
got
actually
to
had
match
to
the
leak
lead
documents
times.
via carrier pigeon in '64. It was really
Well, back then, life
And Jalopnik
expectancy was
still got
shorter,
kicked out.
so you couldn't be like, you can buy it in a year. Be like, I'll be dead by then. What about the draft?
but sir, I have polio.
Speaking of '64, who saw Ford versus Ferrari? Anybody yet?
Seen it.
I'm
No.
skipping. That was another Ford event. We were supposed to go to the studio, but that starts at 5 and it's 4:11. So I think I'm missing that.
Where
for
are you gonna see it?
Fox Studios.
Oh, that'd probably be cool. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to see it. We're going to see it right after this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, where are you going?
To ArcLight in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Do you wanna
Where-
buy
where's
something
it
on
gonna
the
be?
phone right
the
now?
movie's already
Come?
out, so I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah, you don't. There's no sneak previews anymore.
So
It's just-
nobody
I
at this
just-
table has seen the movie.
No.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I don't think it's any good.
Well, so I've been reading.
I think it was the best movie
See,
I
callback.
will ever see.
They had all
You've
these
seen it?
advanced
No.
I will.
previews in the city for like journalists, and everybody, of course, as they do, left the theater like, well, the tire tread pattern on the GT40 Mark II was incorrect, and that ruined the movie
The
for me.
Mustang's not even electric.
But but
good.
then you read like the reviews in the Atlantic and the Times, and they were like pretty charitable.
I think Brad
with the
Brownell
movie.
said he liked it. My
Yeah.
friend Patrick said he liked it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you turn off your hyper analytical car brain.
Yeah.
And just watch it.
Zach,
like a
I don't
good
think you
movie
understand.
to
We have to
drive
Did you
hate
like
things.
Rush?
Oh, I hate plenty of things,
No.
man.
You didn't like Rush?
I hated Rush.
I liked
Really?
Rush.
No.
I liked Rush a lot. I
Yeah.
thought Rush was great.
I thought it was
I did
medium.
too.
I think it was
Really?
a B.
You're an
Yeah.
all right band. I didn't see the movie.
I hate the band and I didn't like the movie.
Like some of the shots were cool, some of them were creative, some of the racing footage was man. Some of the storyline was like clearly
it was
a
so
little bit created.
I think the problem with a lot of the biopic-y sort of, like, this isn't just racing, but like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody is incorrect about many things.
Right, and
that
just
was-
like, but
that
just
was
like
terrible.
Rush is incorrect about many things too, involving like talking about how Lauda got the car to be like, was it 3 seconds faster or something because he worked overnight in a garage by
Right.
himself on a Formula One car.
No, I actually thought that he did actually
but-
have
but
some
not-
some
it was
input
that-
in tuning the chassis.
He
of
did,
that car.
but not overnight to make the car.
Well, they have to make a singular hero. That's the problem.
Yeah,
You know,
elbow grease.
it can't be the team built it together for Hollywood, which is silly.
And just like the Elton John movie, which was also awful.
No, the Elton John movie was horrific.
Because I think you told me this, and I didn't believe you. It's a musical.
It's a sneak musical.
But I went into this thinking it was going to be like, oh, you see concert performances, you see all this shit, and no, all of a sudden there's just a kid singing "Bitches Back."
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this child singing the "Bitches Back"?
Why is your agent breaking into songs, sir?
That's how life is for Elton John.
Fraudulent movie.
That movie made me mad because I like Elton John a lot. And
No, that's real. That's how Elton John's life is. Everyone just sings to him. That's where he gets all the ideas.
He goes to an AA meeting and starts singing. The whole movie was based on an AA meeting that he was in, and he started singing immediately. Like he started like singing "Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting." Right.
I wish that was incorrect. And it was not.
The third step in a high heel is worth 4 steps.
It was. Movies are bad.
All right. Well, we'll be tomorrow when we podcast with Ed Niedermeyer.
I'm into it. Kevin Madsen had.
You'll be able to talk about the Corsair Grand Touring.
We will also, since the embargo will be up on that,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to talk about how we liked Ford versus Ferrari. I suspect it will be entertaining and decent.
It probably will be.
Not entirely accurate. I read 24-Hour War. I know how it's supposed to go.
Well, there you go.
So there's no spoilers in this fucking story.
I don't really understand. So there's 24-Hour War and Go Like Hell and Ford versus
I'm
Ferrari.
sorry, not
What is
24-Hour War. Go
Goes
Like Hell is
that's the
A.J.
one.
Bames'
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
That's what the
That's
movie's
the one
based
I've
on.
read.
Yes,
Yeah.
24-Hour
But it's
War
not
is
based on
Adam
that.
Carolla's documentary based on A.J. Bames' book. And then this is the fictionalized...
Wasn't this a fictionalized adaptation of AJ's book that they stiffed AJ on?
that they kind of fucked AJ on.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word stiffed because I don't think they
Maybe not stiff.
just to be
Stiff is the
clear-
wrong
I think
word.
they paid him, and I think he got fucked on credit.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, this movie about a gigantic corporation fucking a small-time outlet features a gigantic corporation fucking a small-time guy trying to write a book about it.
Allegedly.
Okay.
As it turns out.
Cool.
Yeah. Hollywood is not.
I'm so
full of
glad
nice
Ford
people.
won.
And without them winning, we wouldn't have the Mach-E.
Freedom. And we
What I
wouldn't have
liked
won.
about the
I
trailer
know, it was in the
Willow
60s,
Springs
but
is
we would have
exactly
read
the same.
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
changed a lick in 60 years.
The fun thing about it is it was in the 60s, but if Ford lost retroactively, we would have lost World War II. It was that kind of fight for America. So thanks, Ford.
Big stretch there, Mac.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
Ford
He
did it
really
for
went
America.
for it.
Ford did it for America,
But
not for them.
World War II was a little bit before this. Okay.
That's the World War II guy, man. You got to talk to Kyle.
He seems like a bigger fan than I'm comfortable with. he knows phrases like Wehrmacht and
We did it for Dale, boys. That whole war.
God, he did it for Daschel. I don't know.
So the decade is ending. Did you hear about this?
Someone said.
This
Yeah.
sounds like a Leno joke. Continue.
So the decade's ending. And, you hear about this? You hear about this, guys? No. So we were having a debate in Slack earlier about what the most significant cars of the decade are.
Article might have went up.
Did it actually?
I don't know.
Did you write it?
Well, I wrote it because Aaron was like, I want it as soon as possible. So
He
I
wrote it
it.
because he had a day off from the Mustang E launch.
Well,
And a new iPad
didn't
Pro
want-
to write the article on.
so I lost Wi-Fi 3/4 of the way through the flight,
Yeah.
so I had no idea that the article was done.
Yeah,
But
well, yeah, it wasn't clear in public Slack that it was done. But everyone's like, "Are you working on that?" I was like, "I don't know." It felt like people were still mad about the results of it. So
Yes.
I don't know.
well, what were the results?
So
No.
since
What
it's
do
up-
you think, Matt?
Yeah, so what do you think?
What do you think the
I
most
genuinely don't know.
significant car of the decade? Just go into this blind. What do you think it is?
Oh man. Do I want? Is it enthusiast focus? Should I assume that?
No, just and you know,
it's
this
not-
is not a
it's not
test.
up
Just
yet,
what
for
do
the
you
record.
think?
Okay.
I've checked. It's not.
Oh
on my-
man.
Tesla Model S. Throw that
Okay.
in there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Model S. Maybe the second gen Prius.
okay.
What year did the second?
Wait,
gen
the second gen Prius is a.
I think that was a
First gen Prius was 97.
second gen Prius was 2006.
Might have been. Yeah. it
We're
was,
talking about decade, so 2010 to 2019.
Oh, sorry. My
Yeah.
bad.
Volkswagen diesels were kind of.
Yeah, that's not.
interesting.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
We couldn't
But
pin
that's
that on one
that's
car.
different because that wasn't a thing that when it came out it was significant, right? But it became significant through what it did to the industry at the time.
I still
And
think that
diesels-
fits on the list, though.
I do
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just in a different
Because
way.
it then
Yeah.
changed the course of everyone
yeah.
who's going diesel. They went, oh shit.
They went electric.
Like, went electric.
Yeah. Model S is a pretty good one.
yeah.
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 I like
Now,
that.
that was what we said.
Would you include more than one Tesla?
No.
No.
No, exactly.
I initially had the Model 3 as the second. I think the Model 3
No.
is separately significant.
No.
I don't think so.
Because it became like a volume-selling vehicle, which was a different thing than the Model.
But it
S.
all starts with one of them, right?
Okay,
and that
yeah.
stuff trickles
Well,
down.
you won. I mean,
I know. No matter what, I win.
Yeah, I don't
so
think the
I
Model
thought I was
3
your
is
boss.
bad.
that's a weird
Model S
structure
is
we
a
made.
good- is a good answer, I think.
Yeah.
That's.
actually.
I mean, but we have
So-
what else was on that? We had
Well-
we said we were also debating like the ND Miata being on there.
Well,
Oh, did I put that on?
Sure.
I might.
That
not
would
put
be the
on.
Travis Okulski choice.
yeah, I want to say that as a joke.
Yeah.
No.
I argued against the Miata being on there because I don't think that was largely significant. Like the 2016 Miata was not largely significant to the industry in regards to like no one really responded to it.
Excuse me.
Mac, it's been great working with you.
Yeah,
nice having you
Well,
road
I
track.
get Bob has fired me 6 times and I've worked there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, the Ferrari 458
Yeah.
is, I don't think, more significant than the Tesla, but just as a difference of opinion. The Ferrari 458 is the first Ferrari that was really a very normal car.
Yeah.
And the first car, like, there's a lot of 458s with a lot of miles on them and that don't break now.
And it changed a lot of things for the supercar space.
Yeah.
It seems like because there
They
was no
finally
more.
were like, these things need to work every day
Yeah.
for people. And,
Yeah.
and
and it
I
was
don't-
almost like an elevation of the R8 in some ways, which was like you could actually do this every day. And then Ferrari came around and said, maybe we'll try that.
Yeah.
And they actually
they pulled
kinda
it off
nailed
because
Yeah.
the cars work now.
Yeah.
I argued for the McLaren MP412C for a similar reason of like it rode well and it launched McLaren back into being like a brand, and that has caused I think Ferrari and Lamborghini to step up their game a little more because it's not just those two anymore,
It's definitely caused YouTubers all over the world to step their game up.
or step directly off the road into a hedge.
Well, didn't the 458 and the 12C come out like at the exact same
Yeah.
time?
2010.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
What was the first sports car that had PDK? Like which?
997.
997
It was
too?
2007. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so before previous
I got
decade.
invited on that launch as a representative of Garage 419, and I was overtaken by Emil Rensing, who went on the launch and did not produce any content whatsoever from that launch, and is now in prison.
yeah. Well, and it's because of that launch.
It's because of that,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it was
He
the
went
launch
and learned
That
how
was
to-
the free gift actually that year. It was weird.
Yeah, trip to prison.
Yeah.
You get 10 hours of lawyer fees.
Yes.
Or not reporting income from press trip gifts.
That's, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think it was the C7 Corvette launch where I saw, like, within 24 hours, I saw, like, 10 press kits on eBay. Like,
What that was the Pebble Beach one, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. And they gave away these little, like, models that
Yeah.
were, like, metal. I gave mine to somebody, but yeah, they were on eBay for, like, hundreds of dollars. It was very silly.
How many cars were going to be on this list?
We had 10.
think we had
but
10. Yeah.
I just started with 10. I mean, it wasn't a fixed
What else did you
number.
pick? Because we're
So-
falling short.
The aluminum
so
F-150.
That
Yeah,
was
it was on there.
number
Yeah.
3 actually, and it wasn't just the aluminum F-150, but a lot of the pickup truck stuff about like making a very luxurious pickup trucks, just lightweighting in general to lose it.
Raptor, maybe.
Well, I kind of bundled
We
that
bundled
in under
that in.
F-150. Basically, all of the big trends we've seen in pickup trucks in the last 10 years start with the F-150, right? The number 2 after the Model S was actually, we couldn't come up with a fully just
We'll get to that in a
representative one of this, and we just kind of broadly put the crossover, because like you can't...
The crossover?
But like...
But that
We couldn't.
again,
I don't know. You don't want to give them credit.
This was
like,
my-
you don't want to say
this was
like the
my argument.
RAV4. Yeah, that was your. And
Yeah.
what I said is, if you want to pin it on one car, if you want to say, oh, this is the reason that 70% of the market is light trucks now, you would actually have to pick like the 1999
It would be the
Lexus
first
RX
gen
330.
RX.
Yeah,
The first
that's
gen
what I
RX
was
is
saying.
the one. Yeah, but that's too old.
But you can't
Yeah.
be like the car of 2010 was the
Yeah.
19. Although I mean,
but
they're
this
all
was
not.
the decade of crossover,
Right.
and the crossover killing the car
Yeah,
basically.
it's kind of a cheeky like Time Inc. Like the 2006 Person of the Year is you, like it's that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 3 was the F-150. 4
The Mustang was on there.
Yeah, the
IRS.
2015 Mustang.
IRS, Global Mustang,
Global
right-hand
Mu-
drive, all
yeah.
that sort of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, okay.
What else is on
Renault
That's a good
Kangoo.
The
Yeah,
C-
Renault
the
Kangoo.
C8
We drove one of
Corvette
those in
make a
Morocco.
list
I just
like
watched that last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Does the C8 make a list like that?
No,
it
it's
didn't come out this
2020.
decade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We you know what we put on there? The Ford Police Interceptor Utility, because that is the first different police car there's ever been, really.
Okay.
Like the first time that you've completely redone that.
I mean, before the Crown
Oh, the
Vic, there were
Volt.
still cops.
The Volt was 2009.
Yeah.
But I love the Volt, but I
Volt is
still don't think
2011.
it makes that list.
I was thinking
but I do
should
love the Volt so
I
much.
love the Volt.
You should get one.
And the
I'd like to
Hellcat.
get a leftover one. Hellcat, I would buy.
918 Spyder is a stand-in for all three of the hypercar things.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they mattered, I think. And and then the Hellcat.
They did. It's going to get everybody used to, like, it's a transition of, hey, eventually this will be
Electric
Yep.
things can be cool, which is the big reason the Model S was number
Yeah,
one.
I think
right?
Model S covers
yeah,
that pretty well.
And then Hellcat.
I don't hugely disagree with anything there. I think that's a pretty good list.
Cool.
Oh, and the
Not that you needed it.
2014 S-Class was one
Wait,
of them,
what?
too.
2014
Why?
S
Why is that
I
on
think
there?
so.
because of the Spa Air.
The spot, but because we had a lot of things on exterior, but the interior design was like a new.
I mean,
thing,
if that's the case, you got to give the Phantom and the Starlight ceiling credits.
Yeah.
Starlight
I'm putting that
ceiling.
in.
They were telling me that the Cullinan now has a shooting star.
You haven't seen that?
Yeah.
Have you
No.
seen the animation of it?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
You
cool.
want to hate it just based on principle, but then you see it and you're like,
Yeah.
Hey
if I
Siri,
had the
switch
money.
to blowjob
Yeah.
That's
mode.
the whole thing. That's the only thing I want to test in that thing.
Yeah.
I
I
just want to
talked to-
see it do the shooting star.
Lights up.
Yeah.
Lights down.
Lights down.
Lights up.
I talked to a Rolls-Royce dealership, and I had like a long interview, and he said basically you can identically spec a car for everything a person wants. You can have it sitting there today, and if it doesn't have the headliner, that's the one thing they'll just walk. They won't do it.
Every Rolls-Royce buyer gets the headliner.
He's like 85% plus of my customers get the headline. And the Cullinan, the first year you couldn't get the headliner at all. And he said, I have about 15 people saying, yeah, when it gets the headliner, give me a call.
well, if you're gonna go, I mean, if you're gonna
If
buy
you're
a
gonna spend
$400,000,
$400,000
Got to get the stars.
yeah.
they'll do this, and they'll do the headliner for whatever sky you want, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
it's so expensive. I think. Have you had a press car with it?
No, the
I
only
think it's
Rolls Royce I've done was
30K.
Dawn, so you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
30 grand.
I think it's $30K.
Who was the
It's a drop in
drunk
the bucket.
guy that shoved like a spaghetti LED light into a headliner and went like, "This is 30
I don't know.
grand." now."
There's a chick.
I've got an idea of how we could bump up the prices a little bit. You know, you can get all the stars into the internet. You hit your copy and paste, and the lasers. We have the laser cutter for the interior. It'll shoot on the headliner, and then you put the fiber optic cable in it, and people will pay a lot of money to get blown while looking at the constellations.
Yes, darling, I
It
will
will.
have another gin.
Because actually, I mean, I'm sure that nowadays you can get the constellation, you plug it, like everything's like laser controlled, and it just goes, and then someone has to plumb all the wiring.
It's a lot of LED. It's a lot of fiber optics.
so much.
There's a girl that is a fan of this show that has a Subaru show car, and she DIY'd it.
I knew
Really?
it.
Yeah.
I knew
Really?
that had to be a thing.
Google DIY Starlight Helliner. Oh, that says $12,000.
Oh, that's it?
2018. I think the shooting star was.
No,
was
so
It's got to
more.
be extra.
What he told me is it starts at like 11 or 12, and then if you want it to be customized,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
that's why.
over 30.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because they probably just.
And if you don't get it
random,
customized, are you
the-
poor? Are you?
Yeah, why are you getting a
seriously?
Rolls Royce without a custom?
It's,
Is
the Rolls Royce under the stars.
I mean, some people like to save money in weird
I mean,
places.
look at that though.
Wait, does it have clouds?
They have clouds now. Why? That
What?
is crazy. That is
We gotta
what
get a
we're
Rolls
looking at
Royce.
is inside the ceiling of a fixed roof vehicle. It's just fucking amazing.
Wow.
That one is sort of done in a 3D perspective, kind of, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of it might be a rendering. They have the windshield and windows
can you
blocked
spin
off.
that? Is
starting
that
to
a
think
thing?
these
Feels like it's
Rolls-Royce-
Photoshop.
Nice.
Mouse?
No, it's got a mouse, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys want to
Look
drop
at
some
that.
acid?
Oh,
and
wow.
lay
Look at
down
this
on my
guy. He's got
rolls?
the map out with the fiber ops going through it. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
This is pretty
Go to
rad.
Rollsroyce.com and go to like the under the stars. Just search that. This is pretty rad.
Holy shit.
Those are they're just pulling them through with little pliers.
And poor Nigel's got to be back there putting him in star by star.
Thanks for the great idea, Nigel. Now we've got to pull 20,000.
You know, it'd be cool.
fiber optics.
You got to get
At
Neil
least I'm getting
deGrasse
paid
Tyson in
30
one of
grand for
these.
it.
And because he's
That's
all
not
about looking
accurate.
for accuracy in movies and
Fact-checking
stuff, and he could just you could do a video with
They're
him
not
and sit
actually
back.
that close in real life. That's all he's.
That's also not what he sounds like.
Are you sure?
Just did a generic nerd
It
voice.
sounds a lot like him.
It's very similar to my voice.
He's like James. He's got like the resonance, and you're just like, that's actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyone who says actually, like, yeah, that's what
Luke,
they
I
sound
am
like.
your father.
Crazy.
You know, in Star Wars, the ships aren't actually accurate.
Okay, Rick Moranis reading for Darth Vader. Thank you very much.
Let's go to the people, Zach. We've got a lot. And
I saw
I'm
one
gonna-
that's just sleepy eyes, which seems to
I'm
be
going
bode very
to-
well for how we did today.
Yeah, he gave us 99 cents
Oh,
to
thank
tell
you.
us that we're boring.
Nice.
cool.
Well, thanks, man.
I mean, you could give me. You want to give me 99 cents to tell me we're boring? Like, cool.
All day.
I won that.
Yeah.
If you paid me to say virtually anything,
Because
Yeah.
people tell me that for free.
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip some of the more traditional what sports cars can I get for $20K, which happens very frequently because we have guests. Jordan says, do you think if the Mach-E takes off, other manufacturers will paste their famous sports car names onto electric crossovers?
yeah, totally.
Yes.
This
is the
whole
gateway
industry
drug.
runs on cynicism, and if they can make a buck, yeah, fuck it.
I mean,
Fuck
they're already
the nameplate.
using the turbo name.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's already happening.
It's a gateway
totally.
drug to the next thing. So.
I think, yes, it's definitely
I don't think
going to
Chevy
happen.
would ever do that, though. They wouldn't, like, for instance, ruin the name like Blazer. Like, that's just not something that's in them. So,
The
Like
Dodge
Mitsubishi
Hellcat.
would never ruin the hollow.
Yeah, that's way
Yeah.
worse. That's way
Oh
worse.
my god.
No, there's egregious ruining of nameplates, but I think Mustang. I thought Mustang was worth more than this. I guess not.
Nope.
McLaren
You were mistaken.
720ES.
There you go. I thought a Galaxy's great.
That would be
perfect.
Lightning,
Galaxy,
Fusion,
yeah.
all of these are
How much
appropriate.
time on this podcast would we have spent talking about this if it wasn't called Mustang?
I mean,
That's
we
why
might
they're
have been talking
doing-
about more substantive things.
Yeah,
than a
that's
name.
fair.
Because
Yeah.
any news
But like
is
the
good
New York
news.
Times sent out a push alert saying like, "Oh, the Mustang's electric now." Like that's what they want. They
Well.
want people talking about it and then getting mad and then tweeting
Whoever
about
wrote
it.
that is wrong and stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
well.
frankly. Nate says, how important are box and papers for Rolex Panerai watches?
Very Nate.
10
man.
to 20%.
Oh, sorry.
10 to
you know about
20% is your difference.
You're way cooler if you don't care about it, though.
You could care. It's money. It's real money.
just
But
money.
it doesn't matter if they like less money in, less money out. You know what I mean? You save
Yeah.
money by it not being there when you buy in. You can't sell it for as much on the way out. It's just, but you're getting the same fucking watch. Nobody gives a shit ultimately if you have box papers except the guy you're buying it from and the guy you're selling it to.
Amen.
Miguel Flores, is Doug coming back on the show? Doug DeMuro has an open invite when he's in town, as does Mr. Regular. Neither of them live in L.A. What are your thoughts on Cletus McFarland? I don't have any. Never met the man. That's a real person, right?
Yep.
Never met him.
He builds crazy shit.
Oh yeah,
You know
his
him?
channel,
Turbo LS
his
carts and
channel
stuff.
is
Yeah.
sweet.
Do you know him?
I've never met him, but I would happily have him on because
If he's around, does he live around here? I don't know.
No, Florida, I think.
Oh, well, that sounds far.
Yeah,
if he's in
you
L.A.,
should-
come on down.
You should have him on.
Hit us up.
He
Sure.
That
sounds cool.
sounds far.
Sure. Okay, Zachary Machado wants to know, what are the cons of going from a Mark 6 GTI to a current gen Charger RT or Scat Pack? I'm only seeing pros. I'm tired of front wheel drive and being in a small hatch. Well, a pro is you would no longer be in a
Right.
front wheel drive small
Yeah.
hatch.
Do it.
The con is you'd be in a car that's about 25 years old.
You'd be in a very old car.
Yes.
That's very heavy
Yep.
and very big.
But it has a V8.
But it does have a V8. I mean, it does have good balance.
They ride
They're
nice,
not
yeah.
terrible
I like
cars.
them.
They're
Yeah.
nice cars. But, I mean, your fuel economy is going to be a lot worse. It's harder to park. It's just, but
Yeah.
those are the cons are obvious. You can tell them by looking at it. If it fits,
It's not it's not a complex car. When you look at it, it's,
No, it's
kind
just
of
a-
does what it says. I mean, it weighs more than a Honda Pilot, but it's fun.
Very fun.
yeah. Nate wants to know. Oh, Nate likes the watch and listen episodes that I did about the history of certain watch companies. Have we thought about doing that for car companies? No, because that requires research. And I managed to do this podcast for 9 years without doing a fucking
no
lick of
research.
research. So yeah, name a dead car company that deserves a second life.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Duesenberg.
boy.
Sure,
Doozies. Yeah, sure.
why not? Fiat.
Avanti. Yeah.
Yeah, Chrysler.
That's brutal.
Have you seen the Mustang Avantis? There's a couple
Yes.
guys running
Yeah.
around LA
Yeah.
where it's like 05 Mustangs with Avanti bodies on them.
That's cool.
Not
I drove
good.
a Fiat Tipo last week. Estate.
like like old?
with a no, brand new one.
What's a Fiat Tipo Estate?
It was actually damn good, and it's a shame we don't have these in the U.S.
Is that a minivan?
No, it's a
wagon.
they call it an estate.
Wait, did you drive this? This is the first thing you drove? To get to the first thing?
No. We had a Fiat 500X to get to the Dallara Stradale. And then,
this is on the way to the Dallara Stradale?
Yeah.
Kyle drove the Dallara Stradale last
Can you
year.
talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Is it awesome?
It's incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
We spent so much time
Insane.
on door. Well, no, the door handles was good. But we could have shortened some other. You guys got to speak up more.
yeah.
Well, because look, when you get on door handles, you don't want to sideline it for like the
Wait,
Dallara.
forget this stupid Fiat. What about the Dallara
Yeah, no
Stradale?
kidding.
Oh man, it's nuts. So the project manager told me that this is the first Dallara road car they've ever built, and it's going to be the last one. They basically built it as a way to show other manufacturers and race teams, like, we're at a capacity now where we can produce carbon parts at such a rate that you guys should come to us if you're looking at doing something like this. Because they're building chassis for Formula One, they're building LMP
IndyCar,
prototypes.
right?
They do
IndyCars.
all of the IndyCar tubs and chassis.
So it's like a literally marketing
so it's
vehicle.
like essentially it's a marketing vehicle to say, like, kind of on the table, like, here's exactly what we can do and how well we can do it. They'll sell 600 of them from the sounds of it. They've sold most of them, and they've produced I think 200 so far.
What's the engine?
It's an EcoBoost, a 2.3 liter from the Mustang. Or the
crazy looking
Focus
sexy
RS.
looking, I think.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it actually looks really nice in person, and you can get that kind of Barchetta setup you see there on the left.
The yellow is the yellow one on the right, the one you
Speedster?
drove?
No, I drove that
Speedster's
color.
like a better KTM crossbow.
They built the crossbow.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how similar they are in feel. Probably not.
Well,
that much.
I haven't
It
driven a
looks
crossbow. I mean, the thing weighs, I can't remember the exact figure now, but it's 500 pounds lighter than a Miata dry.
That's very light.
Like 1,800 pounds.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's got 400 horsepower from the EcoBoost.
Did you drive it on a track or road?
I did both, yeah.
How was the ride on the road?
The
It was
magazine we want.
surprising
What?
because
We
it's,
work for Road and Tracks.
You guys don't always take things to the road. You don't always do that.
yeah, it's
I'm
surprisingly.
gonna find a track test in the next magazine and fucking mail
My
it to you.
Aventador SVJ test was track only.
Thank you.
Fine.
In the print magazine.
Send me the
Thank
hate
you,
mail,
Travis.
Kyle.Kinard.
Yes, send it to me. Yeah, I mean it's kind of surprisingly good on the road. They call it Stradale, so it should be. That's Italian for road. I'll ask Travis here. He's our resident Italian. Yeah, it's really good on the road. They have the suspension that they can raise and drop, and so when you're on the road, you set it up, and it's got that little bit of
Raise and drop
compliance.
with like a button. Just
Yeah.
is it air or
It
is
takes
it
a
just the
long
rotating?
time
Because it's probably bags. It's not
Ye-
the fast shocks.
Yeah, I think it's that rotating thing where it's got the
The screw?
the bump
Oh,
stops
yeah.
basically raise up the threads on the suspension. But it worked really well on the road. Very comfortable. It's got that thing where when you're in a really bare kind of carbon chassis tub type thing, like any hit sounds like you're braking the car, but it's not really that same report from the suspension. So it's like you're kind of riding and wafting along, but you're just hearing all these like bangs and pops and kind
Ford
of
GT was like that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It looks
so that
pretty
doesn't-
cool, though.
Yeah, and it was really good on the track. I mean, it's
Is it possible to get one in
incredible-
America?
Not yet, but they were kind of giving me that like, if you want one, you can get it here, but they're not doing the crash testing basically.
Oh,
so.
look, you got to do the low volume paperwork.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a way to make it happen if you want it, but and I would encourage it. I mean, it was one of the better cars
What are they
I've
asking
ever
for it?
driven. It's going to be more than $200,000.
Wait, what?
all said and done.
Never mind. Don't
What?
get
It's
that.
168,000 euro, I think, base, and then if you want AC and you want the, they have like an optional exhaust. They've got the windshield and the doors are both optional.
You said they're not crash testing it?
Not for the U.S. Yeah.
200 grand. There's a lot of things I would take first, but that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I'd like to have a go.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of all the things we were talking about with PCOTY and some of the reasons
Is it
that
manual?
they have a manual, yeah,
really?
and actually the automatic transmission is an automated manual like a rally car.
really?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it's they focused on lightweight, on driver feedback. as kind of their primary objectives. And so what you get is something that's super involving to drive. And
is that gull-wing canopy thing real, or is that a rendering? Oh,
no,
okay.
that's
So that's
real.
one of the optional roofs.
Yeah.
Roofs.
Yeah, that's the optional roof. It's really good, man.
I guess there's no roof if you go with the other
Your
option.
only, your only
if
option is
you-
roof or no
If
roof.
you spend the base price, you get no windshield, no roof,
All right.
and you're off to
Crazy.
the races.
Andre says the C8 no longer has a manual, so is now the time to buy clean, well-kept examples of outgoing manual versions, or is the newest car the best, as your Corvette rule always states?
Grand Sport.
Yeah, an old Z51. Yeah.
Well, unless
Or a
are
Grand
they
Sport.
saying like buy it as if it's going to go up
As
in
if it's
value?
collectible, or buy it because you want to drive stick more than you want to drive the new
Well,
one.
there's two different things there. Then I mean, if
Right.
you want to
It's
buy
not
it,
gonna
if
be
you
a
want a more
collectible.
enjoyable car to drive, buy a C7 Stingray. If you want to have a car that will probably go up in value, then I don't know. I can't.
You're
say
not
this.
going to make any money on any brand new car right now.
You're not gonna make
unless
any-
it's a McLaren Senna or a Porsche 918 or something that you had to murder a bunch of people to get on the list for.
right.
Right.
Or that
you
McLaren
think-
Roadster thing.
Do you think in
whatever it
like
is.
5 years though, like right now, if you jumped on a C7 Grand Sport with a stick, which is going to be a lot cheaper now than it would have been since the C8's coming out?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think in 5 years you probably wouldn't break even on it, but you'd
Your
probably
investment
do
is
all
all
right
about
on it.
where you buy it.
Yeah.
If you want to make money on a car or like break even or whatever, you got to buy it really cheap.
Yeah.
You're never going to pay retail at something and then make money on it.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
got to have the hookup.
Yeah.
Sometimes retail is cheap.
Yeah.
But but that's a very limited edition thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With something like a Corvette, like how cheap can you buy it now? Because it's still going to depreciate.
Yeah,
Those
for
cars
sure.
aren't appreciating.
Yeah.
C4 ZR1s are in the hold section in Haggerty magazine this month. Isaiah Land says, what do we think the affordable enthusiast car looks like in 30 years?
Oh, it's probably a Roadster with 2 seats and a manual transmission.
You think it still looks like a Miata?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Do you
No.
like Miatas?
Yes. Geez, that's a good question because I mean, things have changed so much in just the last 10 years that it's almost impossible to think what will look like in 30 years. I bet
It'll be electric, right?
I would imagine it would probably be electric.
Yeah.
I mean, does it
or-
look like a stripped down, like the cheapest Tesla Roadster type, like 2 doors as short as can be, no real packaging constraints, and just as much power as you can fit in it? I mean,
There still seems to be that balance though, because too much power in a small package,
Yeah.
too much power still kind of sucks.
Right.
If you're trying to be just on the street having fun on a back road without breaking the law too badly. So if there's a way to replicate some sort of low power involving experience that has, I guess it's electric, probably still be rear wheel
It's
drive.
going to be like e-golf. Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
like a rear wheel drive e-golf
yeah.
in some way.
Electric
Is
Miata.
a e-golf front wheel drive?
Yeah. If you watch
Why?
Camisa's
I don't,
YouTube
but
videos,
why is
you'll
it-
see it doing front wheel drive burnouts all the time in that
It
thing.
should be rear wheel drive. It's fucking electric.
But it's a Golf.
So,
So it's based on a Golf. If it was based on its own thing, it would be rear wheel drive.
I guess.
Yeah.
It should be based on its own thing.
Well,
We'll see.
in the future,
In
every
30 years, maybe we'll have a rear wheel drive Golf.
Maybe we
Because it
will.
will no longer need to
Right.
be front wheel drive.
Right.
You know
very
what I mean? Out of
possible.
convenience. Michael SWE says, I currently own a Lexus GX460, a Porsche 991 Carrera, a Mark II Sprite, and a 75 Mercedes 300D. I want a 5th car that will hold value for Kentucky back roads, 30 to 50,000. Air-cooled 911, E30 M3, or Lotus Elise. Anything else I should consider?
Travis, take this one away for us here.
I mean, Lotus Elise, man.
I'll say E30.
That will hold value.
Yeah.
Every Lotus Elise
They're
is
they're
$30,000.
$32,000
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
You could get
Yeah.
there's ones that sell that have 10,000 miles on them that are gorgeous that have never had a problem. They're $32,000. There's ones that have been thrashed to hell. They're $32,000. There's ones that have been crashed. They're like $28,000
Yeah.
and they have a salvage title. So it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got every other angle covered, including Porsche, E30 M3 could be fun. Could be interesting.
Can you get a good one for less than 50?
Can
Yeah,
you get
you
a good
can.
E28 M5 for less than 50? Because
I don't
I'd
know.
rather own that than an E30 M3.
You might be able to.
If you can, I would get that. That's a more
I
fun
think you
car.
still can with a few miles on it. If you're not going for like some collector special, you can get an E30 or an E28.
Yeah.
Someone told me that the Elise, if you need to replace the master cylinder, you have to take the clamshell apart. It's like it's buried in front of the engine or something.
There's a
could
lot
be.
of maintenance things with it, like the floor. How you have to take. I was talking to Camise about this. There's something like to do some maintenance on. I don't remember what it was, but you have to take it up and take the floor off of it. And to take the floor off, the jack points are on the floor, so you have to put the car on a ramp and then take the floor off and then put it on the jack.
That's right, because it's
So
like
yeah,
it's 48
nightmare.
bolts for the flat bottom floor, right?
Yeah.
That sounds
something like
really
that.
What are the
fun.
alternatives to
And then-
those three that he listed though? Because I mean, it seems like there's
I mean, Caymans and
Unlimited,
Boxsters.
basically.
Yeah.
You know,
Get a
you get a
Cayman
lot of
GT4.
Cayman and Boxster.
Could you get a GT4
No.
past gen?
No, not for 30 to 50. There's a lot of Corvette you can get for that.
yeah.
Oh man, you could get a C6 Z06 for that, couldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
C5.
C5. You,
I
don't know,
you can get
C5.
C5 for
Z06
12 grand.
Yeah.
For a
Not
C5.
Z06 though.
Yeah, you can.
Yes,
They're
you
worth
can.
nothing.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, they're worth nothing.
They came down a bit.
Yeah,
Zach,
Oh,
they're
Zach.
so
Nobody giving those
cheap.
out.
I was shopping there. What am I going to buy a second
Yeah.
two-door sports car for
Yes.
the garage?
Yeah,
I don't have?
don't you
can
need one that has fewer
actually do it
seats?
for Dale.
Yes.
You can actually do it for Dale
Yeah.
in that car.
Yeah.
'Cause he drove
You
one.
could probably also buy someone's pretty nice pro touring muscle car that has some upgrades.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
At a really fun auction that you could get drunk at and start bidding.
You could probably get a V6 Accord Coupe with
Launch
manual.
it Delta Integrale.
Yeah, you go one of those.
It'll get you into that.
Yeah.
That's some suggestions.
Could you
That's
get a R32 GTR?
Yes, you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
a great R32 Skyline.
Yeah.
and I strongly recommend.
Or
that.
you could get a Toyota Century.
They're fun too.
Yeah, you get like 3 of them.
Can you get 3? How cheap are they?
At Duncan, they're like 12 grand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ray says, I've got a Mazda Speed 6 as a daily. Does it count as a hot hatch? I want to see if I can cross it off my driving experience. I don't know what the second half is. I don't think it counts as a hot hatch.
Because it's a sedan.
Because it's a sedan.
Yeah.
Doesn't
But it's a good alternative to an Evo or a WRX, actually. They're
Yeah.
pretty fun.
And the Speed 3 of that generation was torque steery and a bit of a bully, and then this one.
They're
is,
kind of fun though.
Yeah, this Speed 6 was a lot of fun
With
too.
the all-wheel
Yeah.
drive,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
reins in the torque steer a bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Just
they were fun. Big
get,
sleeper.
get the Veloster N and cross that off your list.
Somebody actually angrily
That's my
emailed
line?
me and said that the Veloster N shouldn't be the car of the year because when the Fiesta ST came out and everybody was all about it, a bunch of journalists went out and bought them, and none of us have actually bought Veloster Ns, and so therefore we're not being genuine about it winning the test. And I had to respond that it does not say in the rules that the journalists have to actually buy the cars.
If that was the
Right.
rule, there would be a lot of big
That's what I
problems
said. I
every
said
year.
Motor Trend just gave the Corvette car of the year. I was like, how many of them just bought them?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought they were giving those out on the first drive of the Palisade.
they are. They said
Yeah.
they didn't send one to your house.
No, we
afterwards?
we didn't get free Veloster
Free
Ns.
Veloster.
No.
But we also
well,
didn't.
I
we
get an
didn't-
employee lease though, so it's all fine.
we also didn't go on the first drive of the Palisade, so that might be why we didn't
Wow.
get our free Veloster.
What if you
N.
give the award to the P1 like back in the day? Like,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
81 says, do you have any experiences with Rotrex superchargers? I've driven a few different cars that have Rotrex on them, including 86s, like FRS or BRZs. I've driven a Miata that had one, and I found them to work well. The only downside to a Rotrex is they're more expensive than regular superchargers. Besides that was it.
Does anyone know anyone that's put a lot of miles on like an 86 with Rotrex? Like 10 to 20? No? Okay, I'm just
No.
curious.
Don't know.
It seems like a really good
The
combination.
one that I drove was a Toyota 86 with a Rotrex supercharger on it. It was like 285 wheel, and
sounds
it was
nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
It was a perfect amount of power for that car.
I drove an
Great.
86 the other week, and I don't know why it didn't age well.
No, the motor's
The motor
terrible.
feels worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what
somehow.
Zach said on that comparison we did, like it's a motor that sounds like it's getting somewhere and never arrives.
Yeah.
It's just, there'll be a power
Something's
band.
gonna happen,
Nope.
Yeah.
and nothing
Nope.
ever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David M says, did Chevy just kill the aftermarket for the Vette with C8 since to change the cam, you have to take the engine out? Is the Corvette market based on how easy it is to put a cam in the car? That's sad.
In the
If
perfect version of
entire-
America, yes.
If
Yes.
the whole market
Yeah.
is hinging on cam swaps.
In the
we are
reality,
really
it's
hurt.
the number of Jake stickers they can sell that they can put on various parts of the
Do
car.
you have to
so.
do that though? Is there a way maybe just remove like a rear bumper and some plastic and slide it in?
They're
Someone's got to
making
figure that out.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way to do it by removing the back half of the car and not taking the engine.
Put up the
out.
Bosey light.
Bosey,
Yeah. Bosey.
did he text you back on that?
He did actually.
I'm
He
here.
did
Did he really?
Yeah, but I might want to save it for his story.
Oh, is it that good?
That's pretty good.
If it's good, just answer, are there a lot or none? parts shared between Mustang and Mach-E?
No, it's not that there are a lot shared between Mustang and Mach-E, but that there's another car that Ford makes that it probably shares more with.
The Edge.
No.
The EcoSport.
No. Well, I guess kind of.
Maybe. The Escape.
Look, okay, I'll just say it.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Just say
C-Max,
it.
right?
Hey, if you're a writer listening to this is our story.
This is
Don't
copyrighted.
take it. Parking brake switch from what he spotted so far, and maybe the shift knob from the GT500, but it probably shares more.
no.
It probably shares more with the Fiesta.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I'm not reading the second test because that has the information on what it might share with the
Okay,
Fiesta.
yeah, there you go. You can have the story. That's
there you go.
fantastic. I don't know. I haven't seen what it takes to do a cam in it yet, but I hope the entire market doesn't hinge on that. And if it does, they'll probably find other ways to get power besides cams. What's that dude's name, Zach? Scroll up a little
sorry.
bit. What W. Ward says, what's the best 3-row SUV for under $10,000? A Japanese one.
GX is good.
Lexus GX. Or a Volvo? Don't buy a cheap Volvo.
No,
You
no,
never buy a cheap Volvo.
no.
Old CX-9 maybe. Mazda.
Can you?
Don't go to YouTube and watch the crash test of that if you actually care about
Yeah, if
your
you have a
children.
family, yeah.
okay.
I
never
actually
mind, don't
talked
do
a
that.
friend of mine out of buying one of those. The
mind.
overlap is fucking scary.
Oh
The
shit.
CX-9 like offset crash, it's really brutal.
The GX was a Land Cruiser like Prado.
Prado, yeah, it's a
in-
Prado, yeah.
like those things are. My parents had 2 of them, and those things are perfect.
Why
I like them a
has
lot.
nobody set up a business taking Lexus GXs and Toyota Land Cruisers and Tacomas and installing the Arctic Trucks body kits and wheels and tire packages and suspensions in America?
Is this our job now?
I just like when we went to Iceland, it not only was so cool, but so obvious that
Yeah.
somebody should bring this
Yeah.
to America, and
Yeah.
yet nobody has.
Well,
Huh. Well,
I
No
saw
one knows
someone
what I'm
who
talking
had a
about.
Prado.
The Arctic Trucks. Yeah,
Next
get
time
that.
we're
Get a
on
picture
this.
of that top left there. That's a good one.
And we've been
This
talking
is
about
kind
it
of
for
what
2
they
years.
do. Yeah.
yeah.
I did
Put
see
44s.
someone
God.
in Colorado that had a new Prado, like a couple years old, and it was a Toyota Prado, and that was what but it was in America
Well,
legally.
they probably
Yeah,
brought it
just-
from Mexico.
Yeah,
You get it in Mexico.
But can you do that?
I mean, you was it registered in America?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's
it was
some-
on Colorado tags.
Oh, I wonder if it's a diplomat or something like that. But
wait,
like,
was it a? It was
No,
a,
I talked to the guy. He's like,
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you how I got it here.
he's doing something shady.
Yeah, that sounds
Incredibly
that sounds
shady.
illegal.
Yeah. It sounds like he got one by the DMV somehow. He told them it was a Lexus GX, or he converted.
Or,
one.
he probably just said it was a Land Cruiser.
Yeah. Oh man, what do we got here?
We're nearing the bottom.
We are? Okay, cool. All right. Chrysler Crossfire SRT6 for a sporty used first car. Zach, take it away.
I drove
Zach just
one
drove
that
one.
had full suspension
Yeah?
and like an external cooling unit in the trunk and a wing, and it handled great.
Really?
It was fucking weird.
It was an SLK.
It's an SLK. It's an SLK 32.
85% SLK.
Yeah.
And he did he put some stick-on carbon fiber inside that looked like it was from the factory and made it look like a pretty dressed up interior. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. But it handled great. Couldn't feel shit through the steering wheel. That was
Yeah.
terrible and apparently unfixable. But he had wide square stance or wide tires in the
Cool.
front. He's tracked it 20 times. His dad rocks an Elise, and they go to do track days together.
That's a
And
pair.
it's been
Wholesome.
pretty reliable, he said. His transmission is automatic, and it is what it is. It's got a tune, and it needs more tune.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was very surprised and impressed. And with a tune in the engine, it was quick. It's very strange. It looked like a steampunk a bit.
Yeah.
You know,
So buy a Miata. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be different.
Yeah. No, that's totally
yeah,
different.
that is different.
Yeah.
Ann Schutz says, buying advice, I need a reliable crossover or SUV for my wife. Need third row seating, daily and road trip use under $20,000.
Mazda 5.
Lexus, what can you get at a Toyota for under 20? I mean,
Highlander?
Highlanders.
It's a
Yeah,
good
it's a
car.
3-row Highlander. Can you get for under 20?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say Highlander.
Yeah.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Pilot.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Same car, basically.
Yeah,
Both
But
really good.
Yeah.
from different parts.
Could
of
get an
Yeah.
I know.
old Land Cruiser.
Kia
Those had
Borrego.
Honey,
weird
the parts
Oh yeah, the
might be
Kia
really
Borrego. That's a good one.
How did we forget the
Parts might be
Borrego?
expensive on a Land Cruiser, but
Yeah.
4Runners, can you get a 3-row 4Runner?
No.
No.
Is there a 3-row 4-row?
No, I don't think
there is.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
I would say Highlander is what you want, for sure. For your wife, Highlander. Will F says, why do people own sports cars that aren't race cars, and while normal cars serve the same purpose of transportation? And also, how did I get into cooking? My grandma. Where did I learn my recipes? The internet. Why do people own sports cars that aren't race cars? Would anyone like to answer this? Because I have a reason, but I feel like all of you have reasons.
I don't own a track, personally.
Yeah.
Race cars are very good at being race cars, and sports cars are very good at not being race cars.
Yeah.
So race cars are very good at one specific task, and it takes so much tuning and work, and it's just uncomfortable and terrible in the wrong situation. So like driving a race car on the road, it sucks.
Yeah.
At some of the time, driving a race car on the road, it sucks. But yeah, it sucks. And so a sports car is fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sports car is about enjoying driving, whether that's in the normal situations or in a specialized situation.
Yep.
You could certainly take one on a race track, but anyone who's ever driven a real race car and gone, well, I'm just going to have this for fun and not for racing, you're fucking delusional.
Or an asshole.
Or an asshole.
Yeah. Maybe both.
Probably
And
both.
if you drive a caged race car on the street without wearing like safety devices, like
It's more
you
dangerous.
could die
It's way
very
more
easily.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That poor girl that Randy Post coached,
Yeah.
who passed away last month. I don't know the details, but allegedly all that happened was she got in a very minor accident on the street, but happened to be driving a caged race car.
Oh,
And
man.
please don't hold me specifically to that, but that was what I was told about the
horrible.
car accident. And she was like a talented,
Yeah.
racing driver, aspiring, but
That's
like
too bad.
So yeah, race cars outside of racing are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for Pure Hard Styles. Andrew 31 says, for next year's PCOTY, can you please post the 3-hour-long winner debate as a podcast? That's not a terrible idea.
I wanted to do that.
That's not a bad idea. If you invite
a lot
me
of
next year, I will do
profanity
it.
and-
That's okay. So that's what this show is.
The reasoning that we didn't
Innuendo.
but the reason we didn't do it too is because the thing is recorded. We have it recorded. But
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we record it so we can get quotes out of it for the story. But if people know that they're being recorded for something that everybody is going to hear, then they're going to censor themselves, or they're going to try to be funnier or say things just to get a soundbite in instead of having the authentic conversation.
I wanted to just edit what we had though into a like.
I mean, I think that's still
soundbite kind of thing.
That's still something that because we did. We talked about this at length, didn't we? I wanted to videotape it a couple years ago and have everybody own it because there's also some shit gets said that people will not
Young man.
That's Travis's retirement plan is blackmail of whatever's said.
What I mean is that we probably wouldn't be able to get some cars ever again. So there's certain things there that so it's like in the moment sort of stuff, but it's an idea to keep in mind for next time.
Yeah, I like I think your reasons to not do it all make sense actually, but it's a good request and also a good reason not to do it. Also, the second half of that question: how much power would you add to a Genesis G70 2.0T manual? I mean, look, here's the problem. That company makes a substantially faster version of that car already. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know getting the smaller engine to get the manual seems to make sense. The V6 is a lot faster.
Yeah.
And the manual's not that good.
I mean, I don't know if you recently bought one, like, keep it mild.
Wouldn't you just add the power?
Warranty.
Yeah.
If you bought a new car and you've got a warranty, I would not risk the warranty. Instead, I would just enjoy the car for what it is.
Like, I don't think you could add 100 horsepower and 100 pound-feet because that's not how 2.0T engines work.
That's a huge percentage.
Yeah. If you do a tune and an intercooler and exhaust, you probably add 20 to 30 horsepower and 70 or 80 pound-feet, and that's like within reason.
How much power does that thing have? 240?
Yeah.
So you're adding like 40%?
I don't think you're going to do that.
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Without either reliability issues or the inconvenience of having to deal with E85 all the time.
What's the most powerful 2-liter turbo though? Like, don't we have 300 and some horsepower 2 liters?
Yeah, I mean, you can easily tune up a Volkswagen 2-liter to that.
Yeah, so I mean, why not? I mean, I'll just
do it for Dale.
Exactly. Why not?
That guy gave you $50 too.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah,
I
that's
appreciate
crazy.
that.
Thank you.
The amount of money you donate
Thank
relates
you
to the
for
number of
donating.
characters you can put in your comment. But it
Never mind.
but I just don't understand in general the concept of buying the small engine and then trying to modify when they already sell you the big engine. That's just me. We have a vote for the aluminum F-150 as the most significant. I'm gonna skip that one. Sorry, John. One vote for your horrible new Twitter name, Mac.
Fair.
What? Oh, John wants to know what are the top 5 upgrades, and you should do them to a Fiesta ST. I think that means. Just do the Cobb Stage 3 and get good tires and decent track, brake pads, and fluid. Stop there. Don't fuck with the suspension. That's all you need. Cobb Stage 3, track pads, fluid, good tires. Done. James wants to know, since trucks are getting so big, will Australian-style utes sell well in the U.S.? No. They tried that shit.
Yeah, is the Ranger even selling well?
No.
Okay.
Because it's old.
You know why we like
Is the
trucks?
Colorado selling well?
Yes, I think it is.
Actually?
I think it is.
Because it came out in like 2014, so
Yeah.
it had the lead.
Still not selling as well as the Tacoma, which is surprising. But
That's
also,
true.
you know why
Yeah.
we like trucks? Because they're big.
Well, I feel like the used truck
big
market
market.
right now is pretty
that it?
like expensive because people want
Yeah.
smaller.
I
And that's the only place you can go for that.
I just want a Ranger with a short cab,
Yeah.
short bed,
I don't think most
You
people
do?
or a step-side Lightning. I want like
Step-side Lightning.
Yeah, there's a guy in my block who has a
That's
Lightning.
so
I love the Lightning.
Lightnings
The
are cool.
2021 Performance Car of the Year.
I love the Lightning.
They're silly, but cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've done the sport truck thing a couple of times, right? Didn't they have the Toyota did the
Well, you got-
Tacoma Extreme or whatever, and there was the S10 thing.
S10 was extreme.
X10 was
What was
extreme.
this Tacoma?
X was maybe
it was
also
a light-
extreme.
It might have been extreme.
Might have also been extreme.
The Cyclone.
Cyclone.
Like I don't know how those sold, but it's just it limits a truck
Rumblebee.
to doing one thing instead of multiple things.
The SRT10 Ram.
Yeah.
That could do almost nothing.
I know. It couldn't accelerate. It couldn't carry anything.
But how much better is a Raptor than any of the...
But that's what it does all the truck
best.
shit.
A Chevy SSR.
Now that's-
SSR, the SSR SS or HHR SS.
Yeah.
It was a really Cobalt SS with a panel van
Yep,
body
yep.
on it. It was great.
Yeah.
No, medium-sized trucks I think would do well here in America if they would bring like a real nice new good one over, but I don't think utes are working. John, this is the same guy, Fiesta ST. Thoughts on going -2-inch on wheels? That's for Fiesta STs, so you have to go from 17s to
12s.
15s. I think you'd have sidewall
How does
flex,
math work?
and the tires would not be the tires you want to buy.
Go 16s.
I mean, I think you're gonna have problems with tire sizes.
16s though are a weird size. Like there's no good tires
Yeah.
for a 16.
Yeah. Once you go lower than 17 in a modern car, you're gonna run into weird tire size issues. I would definitely look at that first. And Mr. C says for $14,000, should I get a 2011 ML63 with 150,000 miles?
No.
God, no.
Or
Run.
a 2005 Chevy SSR with 130,000 miles as a co-daily with a functional couple old Mercedes
are-
from
And
the
those are
90s.
the two
These are
options?
so
Wait,
These-
there's got to be more options.
SSR.
I know.
Is this Freddie?
You've heard of other cars,
I
right?
can't fathom that for 14K.
This is Freddie, right?
what this guy wants. It's you'd think.
It's got to be Freddie.
Freddie posts himself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then never mind.
does.
And he also already has a 97 S600 money pit. So if you're
And
looking
already
to get
has an
enough,
ML.
Yeah.
He should definitely get the Chevy SSR.
Yep.
Why? Because Dale would.
Because
Yeah.
carpeted
It's all
truck.
about- can we get Dale 2020 going?
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know what I saw on the street
Raise hell.
today? A Dodge Dakota Sport convertible from like 91.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
That's that good shit.
yeah.
Remember the Dodge Dakota convertible? Can anyone remember this? Soft
Oh,
top.
now-
Yeah.
I do know what
there
you're
it is
talking
in
about.
red. Oh yes,
Yeah.
that is the one I saw. That might be the actual one I saw.
the guy who sold me my
Wow.
That's a real fucking thing.
Are these gonna
I have to take back everything I've said about the Cross Cabriolet and the Range Rover Evoque convertible.
Take it all back.
So the
Dodge
guy
did
who
it
sold,
first worse.
Dare you?
the guy who sold me my
This
Forerunner.
was sold by a factory?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the guy who sold me my Forerunner was selling his Forerunner because his lifelong dream was to own one of those, and he finally found one in Seattle and drove it back to Ohio.
I'm so
and then his
glad.
wife
Hell
made him
yeah.
get rid of one of his other
Good
cars.
for
And
him.
then his wife
Yeah.
left him.
Hey,
Like,
he's
Isn't that
living the
amazing?
dream.
The Dakota. Did you know that was a thing?
I did
Zach?
not know this.
Am I the only one that's into this?
I think it's rad.
I
think it's rad as
am I the
shit.
only one who knew this
I
was
was
a thing?
literally driving
So
through
dumb.
Marina Del Rey in my Aston
rules.
Martin, and I Dakota Sport Convertible to this like hippie girl who was driving it almost certainly.
She had no idea. She just knows
God
she has a
bless
convertible
her.
pickup truck and not.
If you just can't wait to get to the lake, on your way to the lake, Dakota convertible.
It was
Oh,
fucking
it
great.
rules.
Get some sun on the
You
way
know
to the
this team
sun.
tried to product place this in Back to the Future.
Anyways,
Oh
Jeep,
God,
listen,
yeah.
Marty would totally drive this to the lake.
that's the Jeep Gladiator.
That is
Yeah,
terrible.
there it is.
It is.
Oh, all right. Anything else before we get out of here? Randy says, would you rather own a Crown Vic as your only car or have your liver eaten by a bird every day for the rest of your life?
What?
Crown Vic is
Crown
your
Vic.
only car is not
Sweet.
that
You can make
punishment.
a Crown Vic anything. You can make an off-road
Yeah.
Crown Vic. You
Yeah.
can- I just saw a Crown Vic that runs 8s in the quarter mile.
Yeah. The only thing you need to do to make a Crown Vic decent is take the bench seat out and put in a reasonably comfortable seat.
Disagree.
Because the bench seat is terrible.
No, you need a bench seat.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Scoliosis
Listen, he has
is
back
real.
problems. I had back problems, and both of us are all fuck that bench
It's,
seat.
you sit in it and your body just folds. Because I had to lean on the door
But your
for
friends
years.
are right there. It's a
They're friends. Where are your friends go if you get bucket seats? They're there.
Yeah,
Well,
but not
okay.
in the
What kind of
middle.
relationship are you trying to have with your friends?
You know,
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
It's the hand job seat. That's what that is.
You know. That's the relationship you're trying to have with your friends.
Yeah.
Justin Young, last question, says, what's a good steering wheel setup for my 500 horsepower C5 Z06? A good steering wheel setup, assuming you don't need your airbag anymore, is a Sparco or like a Momo style 3-spoke wheel with not too much dish, but whatever much dish that works for you. But I think you want to be at like 355 or 365 millimeters. Measure the stock wheel in millimeters and then subtract like 10 or 15. And that's what you want. Stock wheel's just a little too big on that.
I've got one Momo story just to get out of the way. real quick.
Please, but don't hold back.
I, in one of my finest prospective buying moments, I bought one of those limited edition Magnus Walker steering wheels because I fucking knew that in like 3 or 4 years they were going to be worth some money. Sold it last month for $700.
I hate you.
Nice.
$700.
What was this?
Flip
I don't know
market
what this
for
was.
the Magnus themed motor Momo prototypo wheel. I had to insult Magnus to his face once. He was like, mate, I'll get you one for the Mustang. And I was like, Magnus, I am not putting your fucking name on my car, you piece of shit. I was like, get me one that doesn't have your name on it.
I had to sell my Jackie Stewart Momo,
$700
though.
for that?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I have the Jackie Stewart Momo.
You have
a
one?
Jackie Stewart Momo?
I sold
Wait,
mine.
Is it in a car?
It was
Oh,
my.
it's
It was my.
signed.
So it was my dad's.
Oh,
it has
really?
it has like a etched signature on it. He had it in his
Oh, special edition
They,
Jackie
they had him.
Stewart.
They had him in like the '60s. You could get the prototypo with like all the cool racing drivers
how
from the time, and they
cool.
had him, etched on the wheel. So I
love
think they
that.
had like a Jackie X and like a Jackie Stewart, and 5 or more models, and they all had different spoke arrangements. So like the vintage ones have turned into a thing.
Yeah.
and you used to be able to get them on eBay for
Is that the Magnus wheel?
$40. Yeah, that's
What I
the one
like
had.
about the Magnus wheel actually is the double wrap leather.
Yeah.
It's extra. It's extra thick.
Fundamentally, it's a good wheel.
Yeah.
I knew that the Porsche wankers would
Yes.
would
Good
be
for you.
buying this later.
Yeah.
The
Next time you have that
wanker will
idea.
be wanking.
Yeah, it's
at the cutting edge of
he's gonna
wankery.
get poached by Haggerty.
Get out and drive. I love Magnus. He just bought Hannah. You see, he bought Hannah that beautiful Mercedes for her birthday. What a good
that's
guy.
nice.
He bought her a 560 SL. Look at 88.
I need
Black.
to get
It's
better
lovely.
gifts.
They've been together for a while. He's a wealthy man. He's done very well. He
Guy
gives
got
good
the
gifts.
Ferrari.
Guy got the Fieri.
I got the Fieri.
The Ferrari, and then she
Well, I'm
gets the,
pretty sure if I had to guess, he got that Ferrari from somebody that he made a lot more money for than he got to take home. That's usually the kind of people who give.
How much-
Hyundai?
How much money have you
That's
made,
Hyundai.
Travis?
Yeah.
There's the coolest thing in Guy Fieri's house, aside from the $50,000 freestanding deli slicer that looked like a Vespa.
Yeah.
He had a 5-foot pepper mill that worked.
Really?
The head of it was like a basketball.
That's rad.
Enormous.
I'm imagining just like a little amount of pepper in it too, but it's like this really
Yeah, he used it on a plate, like
gratuitous. Yeah.
Fresh de pepper.
Yeah.
Did he have to use like a cone to like guide it in because it's so wide?
Like you're
great.
refueling
Like a
a fighter jet.
It was awesome.
That's great.
This is this month, yeah.
Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be. So you should be getting it in your
Getting it in your
mailbox,
mailbox now?
this week and newsstands next week.
Is it December? This is the
December,
issue?
January.
The December issue of Road and Track Performance Car of the Year will be on newsstands soon, and will be in your mailboxes even sooner than that.
Yep.
And the 2021 Hyundai
Thank you
Venue.
for having me.
Yeah.
And including so many of my quotes.
Yes.
Yo, what? Someone said, ask me about my superpower. Everybody I sent the article to is like, what's your superpower? What the fuck was that? What are you talking about?
It was cooking.
It was just okay. I figured
Yeah.
it was cooking.
Yeah.
Dude, we ate like kings, man. I
No,
was
it's fine.
so
Mystery solved.
Mysteries. I figured it was cooking, but I didn't know that was.
You were the
superpower.
only only reason that like I wasn't murdered for putting us all in an Airbnb.
It was nice.
It was
I thought
nice.
so.
I enjoyed it.
Well, you had your own room.
I had my own room,
Yeah.
but I cooked. I worked
Yeah.
for it.
Yes,
That's
you did.
okay.
No,
if
it was
you
fantastic.
invite me back, I'll cook again.
Yeah.
You saved my life.
Also,
I like
you're
that.
you're
I
on
will
the
cook again.
masthead now.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Am I on the masthead?
You're on the masthead.
No way. All
Yeah,
right.
You're a
I made it.
contributing editor.
I can now send this to my dad and be like, see, I'm not a failure. Oh, and I'm on the first line,
It's
too.
alphabetical order.
Oh, okay. I won't bring that up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Masthead. All right. Mac, Travis, and Kyle.
Yeah.
From Road and Triznak magazine. Fucking
We in it.
front wheel burnouts on the cover, bitch. No group shots here. I like that. That's
yeah.
a great
There's plenty of group
shot.
shots inside. So
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was a really fun test to be a
Yep.
part of. The fucking roads. Oh my God, those roads.
It'll only get better
did it.
next time.
Those were spectacular.
We did it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming in. For those of you guys with us live, we got Ed Niedermeyer tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific talking about Tesla, talking about Ludacris, his book, talking about urban planning. Ludacris, his book, yes. He has a new book called
Yeah.
Chicken and Pages. I don't know.
That was solid. Chicken and waffles.
I-
That's solid.
It's a Ludacris album.
His
Did you hear me-
album's chicken and
beer.
Chicken and beer. Oh.
Yeah, did you hear me panic and then
Chicken and
yeah?
beer,
So
that's
it's 6 p.m. tomorrow for Ed Niedermeyer. Thanks, guys. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone connection to the internet and ideally something to say. Are our t-shirts still for sale, Zach, for a little bit?
They have ended.
They
but
have.
There will be more.
All right. Thank you for buying our shirt, the LS design, Simplify and Add LS. The new design will be up in a couple of weeks. That's our show. Good night.